We don't start off with a nice Respawn song this week, then? No?
No, we cannot.
Okay, there we go.
Now I can hear you.
All right.
There you go.
I was
Welcome
all like,
back to-
can you hear me? Ah! What the fudge? And then
Welcome
nobody
back to
was saying
Podcasting
anything.
101.
I was being ignored. Why do you ignore me? Why do you forsake me? Excuse me.
Thank you for joining us a year into this podcast where Night Demon can't figure out how inputs and outputs work, and Respawn finds the mute button for the first time.
It's not the mute button. I had to unplug and plug back in.
Either way, plugs are hard.
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. A show where we discuss tips, tricks and tools to help all Guardians succeed and enjoy playing more. What makes us different? Well, we're not streamers or YouTubers, we just have a passion for Destiny and are dedicated to keeping Guardians informed and up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 news, information and opinions. We encourage your questions and feedback, and you can contact us either by email, twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com, or on Twitter at 2titans_hunter. Now, on with the show.
So we're all safe and well, and we've just spent
Ish.
15 minutes catching up to make sure that we're all safe and well. So just cliff notes, we're all safe and well, and we'll now get on with the podcast.
Yeah.
So introductions first.
Hi, I'm Night Demon. How are you doing? I'm the posh British voice of our show. Haha.
Hi, my name's Respawn, and I'm a special hunter.
That's actually pretty good. Do it again. No, you had me pretty spot on. Let's go. Do it again. And parody, I guess it's parody.
Yeah, I know. I guess I have to be. What's up, guys? I'm parody because they've taken each other, and I was not included in the round robin, so I feel very left out. So
look, it's because nobody can impersonate you.
You don't get a special voice, so I just sound like the generic American. Sorry.
Yeah,
you get nothing.
Because nobody can impersonate you, parody. I mean, I tried it once, and then I got sick for a week. I'm not doing that again. Mm-mm.
It's like we have to take on 3 personas: parody and panoramics and ourselves. It just doesn't work.
It is a little weird, I mean, it's like, I was thinking about it the other day when I was trying to come up with an impersonation for parody, and like impersonating him is like looking into the Holy Grail. Not the Holy Grail, the Covenant of the Ark. And if you do, you're gonna die. And me being sick for a week after trying to mimic him was God's warning of, don't do it. This is your first and only warning. And I'm like, loud and clear. I'm good.
See, it simply can't be done because Panoramics and I are the same person. So if you try to get in the middle of that synergy, or the wombo combo, as I like to call it, then you're just going to ruin the entire planet.
What about Captain Planet? He's here to fix those kinds of things.
No, he's fine.
He is not our hero, although he is taking pollution down to 0 because no one's working right now. So we're fixing this whole pollution problem of just not working at all.
So welcome to our lovely little show. We are still here to entertain you and inform you as much as we can. And to start us off, we have Next Week in Destiny. We had our little flash up on the screen this Friday telling us what's coming next week. And guess what? Still no Flashpoint.
Speaking of which, what was the Flashpoint this week? And were any of us right?
No.
Because I haven't paid any attention.
It was a place that none of us said.
Disappointed.
And the fact that you're not saying what it is means that you don't remember. You just know it was nothing that we said.
It's not even worth remembering. Who cares?
Nice.
Yeah.
Big fan. Big
So,
fan.
You can continue to upgrade the Moon Seraph bunker to unlock additional rewards. So for Respawn, that is unlock the Moon bunker and actually do any of the stuff that is in Destiny.
Whoa. So you're telling me there's a moon bunker?
Yeah.
Sorry, this is Iron Banner week. We haven't been to the moon. The moon, I'm sure, will still be there. Eris is holding it down for us. It'll be fine.
Yeah. You can earn extra infamy in Gambit, and I'm not saying the other thing.
All right.
Lord Shaxx wants you to destroy your friends in Mayhem and Breakthrough.
Delightful.
So, yeah, good times. And should we even bother at guessing where the Flashpoint is?
It's gonna be Mercury. No, Mercury was 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Parody?
It's gonna be. They're gonna bring back Venus and they're gonna put on Venus.
Oh.
No,
I'm gonna
I'll say Titan. Why not?
I was going to say Titan as well. Okay, we can both say Titan. Titan it is then.
I stole your
Wait,
Titan.
We've decided that's it.
No, you have to pick something
two Titans.
besides Titan.
Two Titans say Titan. That's it.
No, that's not how that
How
works.
predictable.
You said Titan. You gotta pick something else.
It doesn't matter because no one's going to the Flashpoint because no one cares about the Flashpoint. So,
Your dad does.
well, then he should tell us.
You
We
better
need to have a special
respect.
Gadad segment every week, and he should
We
tell us
do.
where it is. And
We do need to have a special. Actually, we just need to have Gadad. Forget the segment. Just bring him on the show because
well, then we need to record about 14 hours from now or something.
having posh Aussies better. I still love you though.
Don't lie.
Okay, yeah, I don't love him, but that's not the point.
So I don't know if you guys saw this on the Bungie website, the Bungie
Yes.
community focus this
No.
week.
Maybe
You can't say anything because I swear you haven't played at all this week.
you don't know that.
No, you can't even con me. You said to me in the chat, you don't know what I've been doing. I was like, I know exactly what you've been doing. I can see on the Destiny app that you've not played Destiny since last Saturday.
You don't know my other accounts.
But why would you have two other accounts? Only to be a Titan main
I
on
didn't
two
say
other
two.
accounts.
You assumed too. I
You
said
told me.
you don't know my other accounts. I never gave you a number. You assumed a number, and that's wrong.
Well,
You shouldn't
well-
assume.
for however many Titans you want to play as in disguise and not actually be part of the clan, you go off and,
Yeah.
have fun with that.
Little do you know, I'm actually houndish. Right?
No, you're not.
Anyway,
Damn it.
getting back to the Bungie community focus this week.
Not
He's
even a
cool guy,
consideration?
which is pretty nice. I don't know if you guys have seen this interview with him. He's got a nice interview and a couple of his most recent videos, and especially the new one that he's got on the Celebrity Trials exclusive weapon perk. Have you seen this one this week? Worth a watch.
I did, and he told me that this is a great dueling scout rifle. I'm going, if I could duel with scout rifles, that would be good to know. Because I've got that one with the celerity perk because it took pity on me, 2 weeks ago now when we did trials. And said, here, you're going to need this. I'm like, yeah, if I'm the last one alive, this is not going to help me.
This is the weapon I'm switching to, yeah. Engage me at range. Engage me at range. Stop charging me down.
Yeah, stay back. Maybe this week on Widow's Court, I might stand a chance. But Revoker's still in the game, so no, I won't.
And not just Revoker, but as Parody and I were watching before Demon came on, the sniper that comes from Trials of Osiris apparently might be better than the Revoker. I don't know. I'm only halfway through the video, but we'll find out.
And who's the video by? I'll give you an extra point. Yay, well done.
And also, there's no way that I'm ever going to have that sniper rifle, so who
Oh,
cares?
also,
We can
FYI,
try.
I took special note this week. Every time you ask
No,
me,
you
how
didn't.
do you watch the TWAB? It is, in fact, Astacross. I took the liberty of specifically not writing down on a stick-it note for this podcast who it was.
You found one piece of research that wasn't even required.
No.
done.
But you
You
keep
said I
asking
do
me
one a
who
week.
watches the who. You keep saying, how do you watch the TWAB? Who do you watch? And I keep saying Astacross, ? But I'm never sure because, as we all know, my memory is not the best. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But no, I took special note of who it was this week to let you know that it is, in fact, Astacross that I get my weekly TWAB info from. So there you go.
Well, it obviously doesn't help you then reiterate the weekly TWAB stuff back on the podcast.
It absolutely does not, because again, we come back to the circle of me having crap memory. But the point is I did take the effort to watch it. I made an effort. I just didn't remember.
I don't understand how this works. You watch a video to take in the information.
Yeah.
You come on a podcast,
Yeah.
so you reiterate the information back to the public.
Yes.
Yet you still don't retain anything. So you failed both schools of thought of, monkey see, monkey do, and monkey read, monkey learn.
Watch.
Yeah. Monkey does nothing.
Exactly.
Monkey does nothing.
Yeah. And you act
I'm
like that. You have
I'm
any idea
constantly
how people
reminding you of
not
stuff.
remember things? Some people wish they had my bad memory. Traumatic events that they wish they could forget. Do you have any idea how many years of brain trauma and explosions I had to be near to acquire this power? Right? And you're
Probably one.
trying to make me feel bad because I have this ability that other people, quite frankly, wish they had, right? The ability
What's wrong
to
with
look.
you? I don't know why I
read
keep asking
and-
that. Let's just skip past what's wrong with you. So I will link the community focus on Cool Guy if you want to have a good read and have a look at the couple of videos that they've selected. You go and watch, but and also I've put the Celerity Weapon Perk Makes You Unstoppable video in our show notes as well.
And if we're talking about Cool Guy, I don't know if we've mentioned this before. Again, shut up. But if you watch, he's got a series about how to be good at Crucible, and it's not a bad series to watch, especially if you find yourself struggling here and there, especially with Trials now back in the mix. So I mean, take a look at his how to be good at Crucible videos, and you can become a better player.
Yeah, there are quite a few good players out there that do very similar videos, and I think you kind of learn something from each one, and unless you respawn. Yeah.
And more importantly, when that looking cool emote came out with the glasses, he was so happy and picked it up immediately, and I just felt the joy radiating off
the one
of him
time he spent money on Destiny
when he was able to get that cool emote, because I think it even says like is looking cool or is cool or something. It's perfect. It's just perfection.
It's amazing. There's no other way to describe it than absolutely Cool Guy-ish. I don't know what I'm talking about. The sleep is taking over. Speaking of sleep, that last trip I took.
No one is speaking of
this
sleep.
Quarantine happened.
Mm-mm.
I was in California, and I'm still on California schedule because there's been no continuity in my home life to put me back on a normal schedule. Thank you, my dear. Can I have some water? I love you. Can I have some? Luna, I'm dying. It's a desert in here. I need agua.
After saying that there's no
I don't think she believes me.
stability,
There it is.
you expect her to respond to that?
Oh, I mean, whatever. I got oatmeal and fruit now, so. Yes, I have food.
All right, cool guy. He's cool. Watch his videos. He's a good dude,
And he teaches you
and
stuff.
he looks cool.
He does.
He sounds cool.
Looks cool. Sounds cool.
So, shall we dive straight into this week at Bungie for the 26th of March?
Sure.
We shall.
Have you guys read it?
Absolutely.
I did glance over it, yes.
At least one of you's read it then.
Really, it should just say Iron Banner is here this week. Go play Iron Banner. Because honestly, in the between one match to like 1 hour of game time I've had like each day, that's what I've been doing. I go, I pick up some bounties if I have a moment, and I go play Iron Banner. That's all I'm here for. That's all I'm into. And man, that power gap. Cause I'm still sitting at I think I'm just hit 990 this morning, but I've been at 978, 985 or so this week.
Yeah.
And man, those people with those like 1001s and 1015s, it's like, yeah, I could fight you, but why? Why even bother? I'm just going to sit back with hard light at range and hope for the best, because if I get anywhere near you, I'm dead. And the hunters finally have their day in the sun. They can survive shoulder charges now. You shoulder charge them, and they can. You shoulder charge them, and they stare at you, and they then shotgun you or throw a knife you in the face, and then you're dead.
He forgets the whimper and how close we are to death after that shoulder charge, though. It's not like we survive with like, I've got full health. No, it is like it is a sneeze.
You live.
Would kill us at that point.
Correct, but there's no more sneezing left. Even the force of the Titan body falling over onto you dead doesn't quite do it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, point is it's not a healthy amount. So don't get too excited, hunters. It's not like, oh my god, the game has completely changed. Yeah, but only a little.
Just have a shotgun on you so you can counter that shoulder charge. When we hit you, get confused that you're still alive, and then you murder us. Or more likely, before you have a chance to react to murder us, a hard light bullet gets us from around the corner and kills us. Because man, that's become my new favorite sweet business this week. Just having people peek that corner. Yeah, no, just I've got the war rig on. Just keep peeking. I'm gonna keep sending bullets around there. I'll change the color up so you have some variety in your life. But man, people love to peek that corner like they're gonna compete, and no, they aren't.
Are you using the rig?
I am, of course.
Nice.
Because I can just keep shooting. And then when that runs out, switch to the Ariel's Gift and just keep on firing. Just a little different flavor.
So yes, the moon bunker has opened up and revealed a secret bunker on the moon. Yeah. That's
That, from what I hear, is exactly the same as EGZ bunker. I haven't been there, but that's what the people have told me.
no. There's like the hive poo all the way down the stairs. There's darkness.
Sorry,
And
did you say hive poo?
poo, yeah, droppings. You know I can't remember the name. Khyber, blah 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 blah.
Yes.
Whatever word they use to say that it's basically hive droppings.
Okay,
Hive droppings.
sure.
But yes, I think the bunker layout once you get down there is very similar to the EDZ.
Yeah, don't know. Having cleared that one, I've still been working on clearing my EDZ bunkers periodically and trying to make that version of the Warmind happy with me.
Right.
And yet, like Parody said, we have Lord Saladin at the tower for this week, and he's offering up his new ritual bow, which is very nice. It's a very unique bow with unique perks that you can't get anywhere else. And then we've got Trials of Osiris at the weekends, which is pretty cool. And FYI, if anybody and Respawn didn't know, Trials runs from Friday at reset until the weekly reset on the Tuesday and Wednesday in Oz.
I actually did not know that.
No.
No.
Funny enough, after 2 days of me sending you messages, are you going to come and play Trials? Are you going to come and play Trials? Is Trials still on? I was like, well, yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sending you messages. Come and play.
Not gonna know. I just thought you were crazy. Not gonna lie. Sorry. Not gonna know. Not gonna lie. I just thought you were crazy. He's like, what is he talking about? It's Monday. And Trials is gone.
Yeah, no, Trials is still there.
So I'd like to thank
reset.
I'd like to thank WolfCon93 on Xbox for putting up with myself and ODST in Trials when Respawn didn't bother to show up. He gladly took up the post of, we're just going to go and play some Trials. We're not very good. Yeah. And he jumped straight in there and said, I've gone flawless this week. I just want to play and have a bit of fun. So yeah, it was good fun. I think we got about 4 wins. And
Nice.
Yeah.
What was our record? 3?
Not you. Go back and talk to Luna. I'm talking about what I did with WolfCon.
I know, but
and
you said
Odie.
you won 4. That's better than what
Yes.
we is what
No,
I'm
Yes.
getting.
we won 4.
Did we?
Did we
Yes.
win 4?
We won 4.
I'll have to go back and consult the videotape. I thought it was only 3 we got to, but
No,
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad
It's
that
all kind of a blur.
it's consistent. 4 wins. That's it. Done. Out. I've got the 3 wins. Got an engram. So yeah, thank you,
Flawless
WolfCon.
jumps. By the way, today is not going to matter because this podcast isn't coming out for 2 days. Disregard.
what's happening today that you're all excited about?
Because Astacross right now is how people do trials carries on their channels or whatever to get viewers. Well,
No, tell me more about this.
Astacross, not Astacross. Gosh damn it, MTash, son of a biscuit. He's doing a trials carry on his channel today, and not only they're going to try to get you flawless, but if you go flawless, you can win a headset, and that headset will be upgraded to like the better version of the headset if you go flawless. So that's kind of dope. Not only are you getting a free trials run, but expensive headsets too. Because I almost bought a pair of those, $250. He's giving away if you get a flawless trials run. I don't know if it's every run or whatever. I didn't quite look into the details. I just glanced over it before the podcast, but yeah, I was like, that's pretty dope. I don't know why I keep saying dope. I think somebody around me said it. Now it's stuck in my brain, but it's pretty cool. It's nice that you get more than just a trials carry. I mean, I know he's just doing it to bump up his viewers or whatever, which is cool. But as long as people are getting something out of it, that's right.
So he might be doing that every weekend. So just keep an eye on his channel then.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's one of the Astro A40 headsets. I don't know if he's sponsored by them or just, hey, I can buy a couple of these and give them
He
away.
is sponsored by them, yes.
Okay, yeah, then yeah, good sponsorship tie-in for that. And yeah, there's about 1,576 people watching him right now. So you too could be one of 1,577 people. Trials carry.
Possibly.
So what they do mention in the 12 this week is something I think a lot of people have been asking for, is with this new sets of armor that we've got, 13 different pieces, they've come back into the game, but you can't put the new mod slots on. I vaguely remember Respawn moaning about this, either on the podcast or just in
It
a
was
game.
both. I don't
There
limit
you
myself
go.
to just a podcast. All right, I complain everywhere.
Live in a world
So-
of and. Mhm.
Bungie say that good news. They're adding seasonal mods to these sets in the next update next month. So the 3 faction sets that are available now are New Monarchy, Dead Orbit, and Future War Cult. They are going to have the Season of Worthy mod slots available, so you'll be able to use them for this season, the upcoming season, and the previous season. And the rest of the armor will get Season of Dawn or Season of the Undying. So the Season of Dawn slots will be the Dead End Cure, the Retrograde TG2, the Hero Campo, or Camo, Hero Camo, Road Complex AA1, Devastation Complex, High Minded Complex, and the Season of Undying mod slots are the Red Moon Phantom, the Mimitech Savior, the Theorem Halt, Tangled Web, Prodigal, Frumulus, Noble Constant Type 2, Ego Talon 4, Errant Knight, and Kirax Type 2, and Philomath. So all these sets will be available with seasonal mods from the seasons before and after the seasons they were designed above, as explained in previous TWABs. So Respawn is looking for
Now,
the ones with Season of Dawn.
are they adding these slots to the pieces you already have, or when they drop in the game going forward after this update, will they have the slots on them?
I did wonder that, because some of them been dropping quite high rolls, haven't they? Been 62, 66, really good rolls, and you're like, it's got no mod slot. I'm just gonna shred it.
Son of a. All right, I've been talking this whole.
Good job. Yeah,
No, I was saying they never retroactively do that to armor, man. It's gonna be dropped on the new stuff.
That's what I was assuming, because it just says we're
Yeah.
adding these slots to these sets in an update next month. I know that to mean anything you get after that update will drop with the slots. We're not going to retroactively put the slots on the pieces you have now.
That is how Destiny.
But I wish they would have been a little clearer with that.
Yeah, maybe just hang on to, if you want to, hang on to those high pieces, because it wouldn't hurt if they are like a really good high roll and a roll that you fits with the sets that you've got. Hang on to it, because it's not going to matter if you dismantle it now or you dismantle it after the patch. If they do retroactively put the mod slots on there, it's a win-win situation. If they don't, it's just a win-lose situation.
Or a lose-lose if you're in Respawn's world, because everything is a loss.
Look, when you have my RNG, that's facts, buddy.
So the fixings, apparently, they are currently targeting Tuesday, March 31st to deploy hotfix 2.8.0.2. The main target of this update will be the issues affecting Trials of Osiris challenges not being reset properly. And here's a quick preview of other fixes that are coming up in this update. So they'd like to fix an issue where upgrades on the seasonal pass were only unlocked for one character and will now properly unlock for the entire account. They want to fix an issue where the first weekly clear of a legendary lost sector would not grant a powerful drop. They like to fix an issue with the Raju's harness that allows players to hold the Whirlwind Guard indefinitely. Oh, sad face. They'd like to fix an issue with the Titan's seasonal pass arm ornaments block first-person views. I saw I think it was a Cami Cakes video where he had those on with a bow, and he couldn't see the reticle of the bow because the ornaments were overshadowing the reticle of it.
Most Titan bug ever.
That was funny.
Sometimes there's a price to pay for looking beautiful. And don't get me wrong, even though I hate the Titan species as a whole, they do have some pretty armor.
They're also going to fix the Season Pass SMG and Shotgun will now create Warmind cells with the Season Pass ornaments equipped. Because remember last week we told you don't equip the ornaments.
Repeat again.
So the season the Season Pass SMG and the Shotgun, when you equipped the Season Pass ornaments that you could unlock further on down the thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They wouldn't generate the Warmind cells.
Yeah.
So it was don't equip the ornaments and then they'll work. So they're going to hopefully fix that one. They're going to try and fix an issue where the Sentinel Titans were able to extend Sentinel Shield banner shield by suppressing themselves. And they're also going to fix an issue where the players were not getting the correct amount of planetary materials from the bunker upgrades.
Titan question. Your suppression grenades hurt you or suppress you too?
Yes.
For the same length of time?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. You can absolutely suppress yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have done many a time.
Mhm.
See, that explains why. Okay, because before, whenever I got suppressed that first time, and I was like, "What the hell is going on? Why is it?" You know, that honestly had to have been one of my first times being suppressed, right? And that was a debilitating feeling. But to know, I was like, why doesn't every Titan just use this all the time? And now I know why, because you can accidentally oops yourself. So
Mhm.
yeah, okay, good to
It's
know.
really easy to think you're throwing it outside of your bubble, but actually throwing it against the wall of your bubble and having it land inside and then pressed yourself. So you're just like, well, I can still stand here, but
You
there
lose
is
the
no
bubble,
jumping.
though, don't you? If
Yeah,
your
you
super
can't-
is suppressed, don't you lose your bubble?
No.
No.
If the bubble's, you can't cast the bubble, but if the bubble's up, the bubble doesn't go away.
But
Even
that's
if you're
weird because if
suppressed.
you kill the Titan, the bubble goes away. If
Right.
you
Yes.
suppress him, it doesn't. That's so weird.
I mean, you're just suppressed. It's like you've taken grenade damage. You haven't killed him. You haven't done, haven't done a bunch of damage. You haven't killed the Titan. His bubble's still up. The magic's still there.
Yeah, but
The space magic surrounds him.
But if he's dead, right, the magic goes away. If you're suppressed, the magic also goes away.
You just can't use it.
No,
You've already.
the-
It's not a retroactive stealing of your magic.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm telling you, that's how it is. I mean, that's how it works.
Whatever. All right,
mean-
moving on.
You can kill the hunter and his tether still gets you. So why doesn't his tether go away if you kill the hunter?
That's never a thing. The
Oh,
hunter
it is a
tether-
thing.
It's not a part of us. We don't even control it. We just release it. It's got a will of its own. I don't know if you know that. That's why the hunter tether always does what it wants. You know, the hunter will shoot a guardian with it, but it'll be like, wait for it. Hunter's dead.
Oh.
Now I'll deploy. There we go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, the bubble's
So-
just friendlier.
So aside from the fixes in 2.8.0.2, they're also continuing to investigate disconnections, crashes, and errors codes that are being reported since 2.8.0 was released. They are seeing elevated disconnects from the tower on platforms, but disconnects from other activities seem PC specific. The fix that they've deployed has appeared to resolve the crashes affecting Gambit, but didn't help with the other disconnects. They've made additional attempts at fixing disconnections that haven't resulted in the decline or error codes. So they're going to continue to work on the fix for elevated beavers, beetles, anteaters, and rabbits. And they'll give you more information as soon as they know.
I like
So
beavers
think-
just as much as the next guy, but they don't belong in Destiny.
So fingers crossed, I can go into Gambit next week and enjoy that, increased infamy without being disconnected.
All right.
What's
Yes,
that?
you
Did
do.
you say you're going to go into Gambit? You?
Oh yeah, that's my plan for next week. This week is Iron Banner. Next week is Gambit. And because if I have an hour to play, I'm going to go play the thing that A, I enjoy, and B, can get the most benefit from.
Yeah,
you
the
do
featured
enjoy
stuff.
Gambit.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed Gambit.
I know this is a stupid question, but you guys didn't bother to watch me and Fuzzco's raid 6 session, did you?
Did someone broadcast it?
I did, and I recorded it to you, and I zipped it and I sent it to you. We did a successful Frozen Clan raid.
I did see that because Charlemagne told me that Pale Rider, Peace Pipes, No One Respawns, Fuzzco, Hawkeye, and Krogat,
I can't pronounce his name
Crogacht, Krogat. Yeah. I see you guys got through Garden of Salvation, so props to that. And
Well,
also Conman CC Conman Griffin. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well,
So,
originally
one of you
it
didn't
was
make it all the
full
way.
Frozen.
Don't know who it
Yeah,
was.
no. Originally it was full Frozen, and then one of us had to go, so we replaced that weak link, and with an LFGer, and we got it done. But no, you want to talk about absolute hysteria? Fuzzco has a high degree of patience, especially when it comes to me. Kudos, Fuzzco. But even me in this raid, dude, you think demon size a lot? Yo, I gave Fuzzco a taste of me, what Night Demon did to me. He was just, and it wasn't even just like disappointed size. It was angry size, dude. Like he was getting legit angry. And I just kept going, man.
you
It's
know
like,
he listens to
respawn.
the podcast, don't you?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's why I gave him kudos. But that was great, man. And just
Your
kept-
friends list is depleting slowly.
that's just you
Yeah.
assuming I have a friends list. I have a compendium of
those are
people
his
that
PC
put up with me
friends.
long enough to deal with me in a video game environment. That is what I have.
His PC friends like him. That's all. That's all that really matters.
So we've got some new Twitch Prime rewards that are coming up, and these are
New is a relative term.
they're new to Twitch Prime people. So we have the Prometheus Lens exotic weapon, which is pretty cool.
It is
The
actually.
Eye of Osiris exotic weapon ornament for the Prometheus Lens. The Tyrant Shell, which looks like a War Mind thing. And the Fleet Ska 9 legendary ship. So if you haven't linked your Bungie and Twitch Prime accounts, you can go and do that.
Don't do it yet because these aren't worth it. Well, the Prometheus
Well,
ones, I would say.
once you link it, you'll be eligible for. Will tell you when they're available.
Yes.
Is it just this set of prizes that you get, or every set that comes out from this point?
Every single set. Once you link your 2 accounts, you will have gotten all 3 weeks up till now. And I believe there's 4 weeks total, so there will be another set dropping after this one.
Oh,
So you will have gotten your Suros, you will have gotten your Prometheus Lens, your collection of nonsense last time. I don't remember what it was because it wasn't worth remembering. And then whatever they put in the next set. So I appreciate that they have put a couple of good guns, especially the Suros at this point is practically meta along with the Hardlight.
But Prometheus Lens is a pretty good one to have if you haven't already got it. So that's worth getting.
It is.
And-
It's a lot of fun.
And if you don't know what the Prometheus Lens is, then what are you doing? But on the real though, it's a really cool.
You say
design.
this, but new people do listen to podcasts all the time.
I know, and that's why I was gonna jump into it, but you stopped.
Oh,
me.
okay, go on then.
The Prometheus Lens is a laser beam, right? And it does solar damage. And as you hit a target, there's an area effect at the edge of the beam, right? That gets larger and larger and larger and damages and sets fire to enemies that get caught inside of the, circle of effect. But that's not the coolest part of it. The coolest part, in my opinion, is that every time you kill an enemy, it reloads your magazine to full, not partially. The whole thing gets refilled. So never have to reload as long as you're killing enemies. And it's an exotic laser beam. How good can you get? I mean, really.
Trace rifle.
It's a laser beam.
It's being
Call it
trace
whatever you
rifle.
want. It's a freaking laser beam.
And the damage ramps up the longer you hold the button down.
Nope, that's the other one.
Is it?
Yep.
You sure?
This one, the Prometheus Lens. Yes, Prometheus Lens. It has an area of effect at the end that gets larger, but it does not ramp up the damage, and it does reload the magazines. The Arc one is the one that ups the damage, not the Prometheus Lens.
I thought they both did.
Mm-mm.
The Prometheus Lens has the Prismatic Inferno. It fires a solar trace beam and generates a damage heat field that grows while the weapon continues to fire.
Mm-hmm.
Shame. 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 Shame.
Oh, I know my weapons. I might not remember the names.
No, you don't.
But I know what they do.
No, you don't. This one occasion you've known one weapon.
Good sir. Just because.
No, he's right. This is the one occasion. And I was incorrect. There are actually 6 drops. So if you haven't linked your Twitch and Bungie, you've got this drop and 3 more in the future to go grab.
Huzzah.
So it's absolutely worth doing because they've given you two nice weapons, a chicken petting emote. It's been a good collection of things so far.
Yeah, especially for new
Not
players.
the general, the colonel. Yes, that is.
No, it's the general.
Am I right? Am I right or am I right?
the colonel.
I'm right.
It's
I
a
was so
chicken, and
embarrassed.
he's
I
delicious.
actually felt like absolute trash after that. I was like, oh my god. Oh my god.
They took your hunter card. You're a warlock now. Deal with it.
Well, I'm a warlock that looks and plays and acts just like a hunter, so it's whatever.
So, guess what time it's for?
Tool time?
Parody's patch note preview.
No, it's Parody's player support report.
With more alliteration and more great rhyming. Brought to you every week by Pan's Vault
The
Cleaning
fact
Service.
that he said that in one go is kind of impressive.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. Continue.
Exactly. So the Destiny player support. This is their report. Their report, my report. It's all of our reports this week. So it's Trials Weekly Challenge Reset Time. Last weekend, the Destiny player support noticed the increase in reports about players not receiving powerful rewards from their 3rd, 5th, and 7th Trials of Osiris wins. Upon investigation, they realized they set the time wrong. So that's why you had to wait until 5 p.m. PDT on Saturdays to receive your rewards, because that's when the challenges actually went live, not actually at reset when Trials went live on Fridays. And I did see in-game this week, in addition to the what's coming next week, they did put up a big banner saying, hey, if you're looking for these rewards, wait until 5 p.m. We'll have this fixed soon. So they actually told you this in-game this week, which was a nice change. Because if you're jumping to Trials, having some success and not getting the rewards, that's got to be really infuriating if you don't know what's going on.
Oh my god, right?
So, again, as we've already discussed, they're going to fix this hopefully in our next patch 2.8.02 coming on Tuesday, which will actually reset this. So on Friday's daily reset, when Trials go live, so too will the weekly challenges for Trials. If you're looking for your Season of the Worthy Seal, we've noticed players have been unsuccessfully trying to unlock the hidden triumph in the Season of the Worthy Almighty Seal. You can't because it's not available yet. It's not available to unlock until in, as I say, late April. So sometime in late April, it will be available. So stop trying. You can't do it. With the Moon Bunker now unlocked, the Destiny player support noticed there's some confusion about the bounties Rasputin offered. Weekly and daily Rasputin bounties are only available on the destination where the weekly challenge is active. So you have to keep track of where it's active and where his bounties are, which is news to me because, again, I haven't even visited his Moon Bunker yet.
Same.
And as always, we have known issues. They're on the help forum. Follow Bungie Help on Twitter. And there are a couple more known issues we're going to tell you about. Some players are not receiving progress on their Crucible and Iron Banner quests and bounties. It says these are caused by connection issues and continuing to play will progress these objectives.
Hold on. Whose connection issues? Bungie's or the players?
I'm guessing the players or the host or who knows. It just says connection issues. So basically, if it's not progressing, just keep playing. It'll sort itself out.
What? No.
Rasputin's daily Seraph weapon can only be claimed on the character players who are on the rank 92 of the season pass when it was unlocked. This cannot be claimed by any other characters. And the Lost Classics Rasputin bounty does not count Crucible matches in the Classic Mix playlist. So you have to play something else in Crucible. And again, for a full list of issues, go to the Known Issues article. We'll link in the show notes. Hit up the help forum or yell at Bungie Help on Twitter. Don't yell at them. Tell them nice things. They get enough abuse from other people.
Not enough.
And that has been your player support report for the week. Player report support? Yes. That's the thing that I read to you, that now you know it's broken.
Yo, good job.
And now we're going to move on to killing a Thresher in the most Titan way possible, which is just magnificent. I can tell Respawn has not read this TWAP. He doesn't even know.
No,
Doesn't
I'm
even know
just
about
confused.
the movie of the week.
No, I didn't watch. You know what? Now that you say that, I do realize that is something that I missed because Astrocross never does the movie of the week. He just goes over the TWAP details, and then that's it, right? You guys keep talking about movie of the week, and I was like, that sounds cool. Or, of course, a Titan does things like that because that's what Titans do because they're trash. Yeah, okay. So moving on, Cosmo, our favorite Cosmo.
Hang on a second.
What?
You've jumped. He's talking. He's telling people about the movie of the week, and then suddenly you've decided.
Charities player support report, and then right after that, Respawn's report roundup. That is the next thing on what you sent me.
Yeah, that is the next thing.
He's not wrong. I really just want to know how many times did this guy try to kill this Thresher with the sword and just fall into the hole miserably. I just want to know the number of times it took him to get this right, because it has to be a lot.
I don't have a video anywhere in here. I don't have a link to a video as far as I can see. So I'm reading the next thing that I have to read.
Yes, but if you're going to read the next thing that you're going to read, you have to announce what you're going to read first. So this is Respawn's report roundup.
Is it though? Because now I'm watching the video. Oh. No, I'm watching a picture. I'm not watching a video. Disregard. So I guess if you don't already know this, whenever I say the word Cosmo and get this disgusted sound in my voice, we're doing the Respawn's report roundup, guys. Yay. And for all of you that stick around for this portion of the show, I am so incredibly sorry that this never has anything worth listening to in it, and that we just keep repeating the same thing every week that these guys keep repeating to us.
No,
Because nothing ever actually gets done. They just keep saying, "Oh, we've heard you. We're looking into it. I've let the team know."
Yeah, but it may be an issue that
Whatever.
people. No, it may be an issue that people are actually having with the game, and they'd like to know that somebody has responded somewhere, and we're just, letting them know that somebody has found out this issue. They've reported it to the right people,
No,
and the right
and I
people
get
will
that.
pass the information on.
I get
And
that, which is why I
if they
continue
want-
to do this.
If they
But
want
it
to
doesn't
then add
mean-
to the different comments and different threads, we link the Destiny Roundup page so that people can then click on that to find the specific thing, so they can go to it and add to it if they have anything else they want to show. You are just facilitating the need of passing the information across to people, which is helpful in a way, but not helpful the way that you portray it and give it to the people.
That's just my style. What can I say? I am what I am, and I can't be anything
Well,
else.
we had to give you something to do on the podcast.
Did you though? Because I like
Yes.
really messing with you guys. Anyway, so Respawn's report roundup.
You said it about 4 times.
Yeah.
Get on with it, Cosmo.
I am getting on with Respawn's report roundup featuring Cosmo. Okay, so Destiny crashing every time the PS4 resumes from sleep is a known issue being looked into. Congratulations. There's a Reddit link on that. On the Rift. Rift always seems to have mixed reception. It required a great deal of teamwork, so if you were running stacked, you would have a good time. But if you're matchmaking with teammates, it could get away from you pretty quick. And at least that's the experience and feedback I remember most, especially during Iron Banner.
I think it was don't put it in Iron Banner for Destiny 1. And what did they do? Put it in Destiny 1 Iron Banner. Was it then when they suddenly went through those rotations of, oh, we're going to have Clash Iron Banner or Rift Iron Banner? It's like, no, just stick to Control. We're happy with Control. No, they touched it.
Yeah. Anyway,
I sort of missed the rotations, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure that you need one that's set so much on teamwork. Because let me tell you, playing Control Iron Banner, sometimes there's no controlling going on. It's Clash that everyone's playing, even though there are control zones.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's just Clash in spots where you know people are going to be. Oh crap, they're taking C. That means everybody go to C. Roar! No, I'm kidding. But it's always the same. And even though I do like that game mode being Iron Banner is that I'm gonna take your side. I actually miss having options, having a rotation, even if the options were crap. At least it wasn't the same thing all the time, you know. Anyway, now that I've said my piece, moving on, I'm going to say more pieces. So he will definitely share the feedback posted here. Called it. Feel free to add it below. If it did come back, would you want any changes made for us to keep it as close as the OG D1 version as possible? That is a Reddit link. Solving issues with the Collections tab. There's issues with the Collections tab. Such as being unable to pull random rolled weapons is still in their backlog to look into a solve for it. Let's try that again. Such as being unable to pull random rolled weapons is still in their backlog to look into a solve for. No, that is what. Look into a solution. Did he mean to say a solution? This is copy pasted, right? You didn't just mess up English.
Yes, it's copy pasted, and the question's all about what's genuine question. What's the point of having a collections tab for weapons and armor if you literally can't reacquire 80% of it because it's randomly rolled gear in the collections? Yeah,
absolutely. And we even had this conversation on many a podcast. Just make it cost X number of glimmer and legendary shards. I got it. I know you were waiting. Shut up. And just pull it out, man. I mean, keep it random, but just give us the option. But no, Destiny wants that freaking grind. But guess what? You still have to grind for glimmer and legendary shards anyway. Unless you have
literally says, it's something we're looking into, but it's on the bottom of the pile. So it's something they're looking into. It's just they have other stuff, other fish to fry first. Because that's not an easy fix.
And this is most likely close to the bottom. Let's be realistic about this, okay?
Right, because this, of all the issues that are in the game, this is not the top one. It's the ones we talk about every
But
week.
for most people, that is though, right?
Is it though? Is it though for most
Isn't
people?
it? Would you rather go through an activity you don't like to play? Like, let's say, for example, you're looking for a gold rolled shotgun from Gambit, and some of us, Blue Screen 42, don't like to play Gambit that much, right? So, wouldn't it be much easier for those kinds of people to just get it the one time and then keep re-rolling it until they get a roll from their collections? That would be a huge.
Guess.
I would feel great about it.
I mean,
There's some activities
I like the reroll weapons, but
that
you can also
I
just
hate
take off
doing.
out of the stuff all the collections you can't get again, and just show me the things I can actually have. And
I like your thinking, Respawn,
Mm-hmm.
but I would put a caveat to that. I would put
What?
the fact that you still have to play the game type to get specific tokens or specific materials.
No,
to
we already
re-roll.
have enough materials in this game. No,
No.
absolutely not.
No.
Well, then
If-
tokens for Gambit.
if you want the Gambit reward, you have to play some Gambit.
Yeah,
whether it's
no,
to
you
get it to
have to
drop
play
or
it
to-
enough
or
to
to
get it the
earn-
first time. That's what I said. You get it the
Yeah.
first time, and it's not a god roll. But since you've played the activity to get the weapon the one time, now you can just go in your inventory, make it cost glimmer and legendary shards and
No.
planetary materials if you want to give them something to
No,
grind for.
that's an easy way of doing it. I feel that you-
Exactly.
No, I
Not-
feel that you need to have like Gambit tokens to reroll Gambit weapons, and that includes the
No,
revelry
we've got
the
way more
revelry weapons.
currency in
So
this
that
kind
if
of
you
game.
want to get the best, what's the hand cannon, the spare rations.
See, this is why we threw all of your tea in the freaking water. No. We have enough currency in this game. We do not need more. What we need to do is be able to
Destiny's
reroll
a-
weapons that we've already acquired.
Destiny's a looter shooter. You're here to shoot and get loot. That's its core
No,
gameplay.
that's what I'm saying. We have planetary materials that we don't really use for anything right now, right? We have legendary shards that, for the most part, a lot of us just stockpile. And we have glimmer, which, again, for a lot of us, maxes out all the time, and we just have to find something to waste it on, right? So being able to reroll from your collections using all three or a combination of the three that I just mentioned would be a grind in it for itself, right? Make it cost 100 of X planetary material and 10 legendary shards and whatever, right? I'm just throwing out numbers. But you do that, eventually people are going to run out of one of these things and they're going to have to grind for it. There's your grind.
No, there's
With
a
the
person called
materials we've
Spider
already got
that you
inside.
could just go to and get stuff. It's
Yeah,
easy mode.
But
It's easy
even
mode.
then,
But
even
Spider
then,
doesn't trade in the tokens.
Even with Spider, he trades. He doesn't give you for free. So whatever you got to trade Spider, you got to make sure you have. And if you don't have it, you got to grind for that. There's a system already in place to take care of this. You're adding
Yes.
crap that doesn't need to be added.
I like to add stuff.
No.
Yes.
No. And you and I can go on and on about this, but I mean, get other people's feedback. Y'all let us know. Would you want them to add yet another type of currency that we have to hang on to for this kind of rerolled nonsense, or do you want them to use what we already have in place? Don't get me wrong. Using only glimmer and legendary shards would be too easy. Of that, I agree. But when you add planetary materials into the mix, that adds a level of grind and complication to the mix that can make it worthwhile.
Yes, but you say that. But the top tier players, or the players that have been around for quite a long time, that have got a good substantial build up of one or all of those materials. Like
And
I've got so much
they-
shards. I can just wait for
I don't care.
Spider.
I don't care.
No,
I
just,
don't
I'm
care. If they have
I'm
all
just
that
telling
stuff,
you.
then they get to roll it as many times as they want to because they've earned it. They put in the time. Now they have
But-
the stocked up resources, and they can just reroll till they get what they want. I know what you're getting at. They're going to have an unfair advantage. Let them. They've worked for it.
I'm saying you play the game mode, you get a set amount of tokens that you can say, like you only can get 100 tokens. You can re-roll that weapon 5 times. It's 20 tokens per roll before you can then get another 20. It won't go past the stack of 100. So you only get 5 rolls at it. Then you still have to play the game mode over and over again so that you're actually going in and actually playing the game. Otherwise, you get the weapon and you come out of the game mode and nobody wants to play the game mode anymore. That's it. It's over and done with. Well, you don't want that. You don't want people to be leaving the game modes. You want more population in the game modes.
People
You've got to
leave the
give them
game
some
modes anyway.
incentive. Yeah, but you've got to give people incentive to go in there, like they're doing the double in for me next week. There's some.
There's your incentive. You just said it. There's your incentive. Double infamy. Bam. That's it. Put in a ritual weapon. Put in damn it, I can't remember what we had before rituals.
Pinnacle.
Thank you. Put in a pinnacle weapon, something, right? That would be your incentive. People again, going back to the shotgun, right? Is it a good shotgun to get? Yeah. Are some people like blue screen going to get it? I don't know, blue screen. Sorry, I keep calling you out, but you're the only person in my mind right now that hates.
He's got
Gambit.
the shotgun. He likes shotguns. He went and got the shotgun. He went into Gambit and he enjoyed it while he was there just to get the shotgun.
Point is you already have people leaving the game modes anyway.
But if you give people the incentive, say that you could only get say 100 tokens, max tokens, but in those tokens you can get 20 tokens to roll something. So maybe you could re-roll an armor piece or a weapon piece for 20 tokens per thing, and you can only stack 100 of those. I think that would then incentivize people to go in there and go, well, I've got this spare rations that I want to try and re-roll to get a better version of it.
Would be the only places that could happen, because that already exists for Vanguard and Crucible, right? Gambit is the only place that doesn't have tokens.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Tokens.
So that would be the only thing that is left is the Gambit tokens. That system's already in place for Crucible and Vanguard. But what about I don't know, what are weapons that only drop from a raid? What if you want to re-roll those? You have to go get raid tokens like Last Wish?
You mean the Leviathan?
Yeah, the whole Leviathan, yeah. That's
yeah.
what I said.
Yeah, you get the raid tokens from the raid, give them to the raid token man, and he gives you more raid things.
Yeah, and he does. And he gives you, at the moment, if you went and gave him the raid tokens, he would give you higher powered armor pieces with different stat rolls on it. So what's the difference? I know the weapons are static and you can still get those.
Well, the difference with that is he won't sell to you until after you've completed the raid for that week, right?
No. He won't sell you the items that are in his inventory, but you can turn in the tokens anytime and get an engram from him, and the engrams have a chance at dropping.
So I stand corrected when it comes to that, right? And when it comes to things like the raid, I will concede to that. Yeah, you want to reroll raid weapons, go get raid tokens. That's a pinnacle activity. Okay, and maybe even put in Gambit tokens.
Well, maybe make Gambit Prime the pinnacle version of Gambit. Rather than taking it away, make it more pinnacle, that you have to have, like Trials, it has to be a fire team of 4 people going against a fire team of 4 people. That way, Gambit is your practice run. It's like your quick play of Crucible. And Gambit Prime is for your elite players, where you have to spec out your armor. You have to be the top players in that field. And if you get wins in that field, you get these special tokens to drop, which then give you the ability to re-roll your weapons and your armor. That's how you I think that's how you might be best solving the Gambit Prime problem. Make it a pinnacle thing to do and get pinnacle rewards from doing. Make it maybe say
we can just get rid of Gambit and leave Gambit Prime and just leave it as a pinnacle activity.
No, I think Gambit is a good starting block for people to go in and practice and have fun and enjoy playing Gambit.
Destiny already said that they're going to be getting rid of one of them, so I'd rather them get rid of regular Gambit.
Maybe
keep Prime and then make it a pinnacle activity.
Prime runs from, say, Tuesday at reset through till Friday, and then Friday you have your trials. So there's like a pinnacle event that shifts throughout Destiny throughout the week.
That would be nice. Except
I like the idea of having like a pinnacle PvE event offsetting from Trials.
You do. It's called the raid.
Oh no, but that's up all the time though. I like I like there being sort of like a time gated thing, just as again a reason to play, a reason to jump in and do something different.
I get that, but let's say for example you're a dad that can only play on the weekend. I'm now taking Night Demon's position, because this is the kind of crap that he always says. You got
you
got dad that can only play on the weekends, and now Gambit only.
You're never going to make everybody happy. Right, you're never going to make everybody happy.
You're also adding a level of complication that doesn't need to be there. You don't need to time gate things like Gambit Prime.
Well, why do you time gate Trials then? Why is Trials only available at the weekend? But it's not.
That's when
specifically now.
That's when most people,
you've
not
got
all,
Friday
most
through to
people are off
reset,
of
which
work.
is quite nice because when I'm finished editing the podcast on the Monday or Tuesday, I can play Trials for a couple of games and see if I can win. So that's the kind of nice thing about that. With, say, doing Gambit Prime from the Tuesday to the Friday, you've got all day, and then you've got the evenings to still play as well. And maybe if they made like Gambit Prime, where you can get the golf balls and the Ascendant shards and things like that from as winning, that may be another good thing for getting people to go in there.
Okay.
I made
so
him sigh.
You make valid points, but I still stick by you don't need to add currency for rerolled weapons out of your.
Well, no, I'm going off the fact that we've now decided, or I've now decided, that Gambit Prime is now a pinnacle event that we're shifting to Tuesday to Friday, and I'm now coming up with how we're designing this game.
Another good point. No, hold on.
Come with me, Night Demon's World of Gambit.
Instead of the reroll from the collections, right? All of our rolls that we have in collections all become static overnight. Boom, done. You can pull it out as is, the way it is right now in your collections, right? It is a static roll. But like Destiny 1, you can take it to the weaponsmith and have him re-roll it for you.
Right, and bring back the glass needles. Is that what they were called?
You can do that if you want to, but
yeah,
the point is
that
would solve
the exotics
with the whole inventory system.
Right, or have
everything that's in there static and just take it to a person to have him re-roll that specific weapon.
Or maybe not even use the tokens in Gambit Prime that you're now going to get from Gambit Prime to re-roll stuff, but maybe be able to, like you do with the Vanguard and the Crucible, you can plow those tokens into the Gambit Master and get a chance at getting a weapon like the spare rations, getting a roll of that may be possible, rather than trying to force yourself into the Revelry. Maybe close down the Revelry. Maybe the Revelry is the thing that doesn't need to exist anymore, and make Gambit Prime.
Just get armor pieces from Gambit Prime instead of the Revelry kind of thing.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Maybe shift the Revelry into something that is like a seasonal event. The Revelry will come up for like a week or 2 weeks as part of a season, and it's an extra chance for you to get this roll of this weapon, like they did when we had Iron Banner in Destiny 1. They would give you a specific roll that you could get from Lord Saladin for that week of that weapon, and some weeks they were really good god rolls of that weapon. And if they did that with the Revelry, maybe it only comes up once a year, but it gives you the best roll of a spare rations or the best roll of whatever, and you've got that week to complete the Revelry. But they turn it up to full max. It's one of the hardest things you can do. Maybe people would want to do that and farm it for that week, and then it goes away for the whole year. So that it's part of this. The seasons will evolve and things will come in and out of the game, but you've got your Gambit, you've got your Pinnacle Gambit Prime as part of the actual game. There, done. We sorted that. We sorted the whole issue there. I'm going with that.
Nailed it.
We fixed it, yeah. So, moving on. Respawn.
We just got so in depth in that I lost whatever. Okay,
You've lost where you are.
Yeah. Collections tab. Okay. Collections tab. They're looking into rewards not dropping in Trials. Reddit link. Seraph SMG ornament removing its cell-producing properties is being investigated. It looks like this is also affecting the new Seraph shotgun. We already talked about that. We'll report to the team that the Doom Fangs aren't working as intended. What's going on with your Doom Fangs, guys?
No, they're working as intended. Don't worry.
Is it giving you too much super? Do you have super forever? What's going on?
There's no way to know.
No,
there's no way to find this information, so we're not going to tell you.
It's like Titan Fight Club. You don't mention Titan Fight Club.
Mm-hmm.
That's just
the third rule.
No, it is working as intended because we all know that Destiny is a bunch of Titan mains, so they do this on purpose. You can't change my mind. They've given feedback to the team about putting in a Pinnacle Raid of the Week on rotation. Hold on.
A Pinnacle PvE event? They beat us to it.
Pinnacle Raid of the Week on a rotation. So the
like
raid
Destiny
is already
1
a
had.
Pinnacle PvE event.
No, you remember like in Destiny 1, when we got to the Wrath of the Machine, and
Okay.
then they made the older raids a pinnacle for that week, didn't they? Where you could get high-powered rewards from that specific raid for just that week. So you imagine you could then go back into Leviathan and it would give you powerful rewards. So over 1,000 plus drops would be available just for that 1 week for doing that encounter.
I vaguely remember something like that. Okay, yeah, I see your point. All right, cool.
Well, you'd like that, would you?
Yeah,
Good.
that'd be nice. Okay, there's a Reddit link for that.
Respawn
Cosmo
approved.
can't even have the appearance that something is being worked on unless they are ready to confirm that. Hold on, Cosmo can't even have the appearance.
Basically, he can't say we're working on that unless it's actively being worked on, because then people, well, where is it? Well, where is it? Why isn't it done yet?
Right, I got that, but their wording here just bugged me. Sorry. We'll share the suggestion to make a Dreaming City Flashpoint. Oh my god!
Then that
Why?
way, Respawn and anybody else that comes on the podcast can go, Flashpoint this week is Dreaming City.
I do like the Dreaming City. I think it's a very beautiful space. I do. I think they did a good job on the
Make
Dreaming
it
City.
relevant again. Make it relevant again. Yes.
Yes. That is a place that I would like to go to because I have to. Trials rewards will rotate each week, and you will not be required to go flawless to earn armor. Hold up. Trials rewards.
But you forgot all about the FPS drops and crashes on the PC.
Did I? Oh, I sure did. FPS drops and crashes are being looked to.
So apparently, you're getting, or not you personally, but you as in PC people are getting FPS drops in the tower, FPS getting locked to 30 frames per second on game start,
Right.
crashes in the game, and crashes while trying to exit
I don't even
Destiny.
know why I'm saying this.
Which if you're exiting Destiny, who cares? You've exited. Who cares if it crashes? You're done.
I didn't experience a lot of the FPS stuff, but the crashes are ridiculous. Trials rewards. Okay, I said that. Trials matchmaking is going by the highest card in the fire team. Oh, I see. Yeah, because not okay. So if you
That's
back
just
out your
Respawn
card, you join
thinking
another team.
to
Okay, yeah,
himself
yeah.
there.
So does that mean the matchmaking difficulty? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll give feedback that some players would like anyone who has already been flawless not to match against those who have not. That is awesome. But at the same time, that just means that the PvP guys are just not going to turn their card in.
Let's discuss that in a minute because there's something I want to talk to you about that.
Okay, fair enough. We'll give feedback that some players would like to see sword changes reverted. Why? Who's saying that? I
Well,
will hang you by your toes.
Let's
No,
maybe
I
see
like the sword the way they are.
what are
Leave
they.
I'm working on it, but I don't care. Leave the swords alone.
You're
We
not
make
working
changes
on
we
it.
believe is best for the game. I'm reading. You're interrupting. Shh. We have made changes we believe are for the best for the game based on a number of factors, including data, player feedback, and our designers. Please don't think us not changing something you don't prefer is not us not caring about your opinion. We appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us. They have given feedback to the team that players would prefer the round in. Oh, hold on. That's another thing. It looks like it's on the same thing. All right. So now we're looking at the Twitter. Okay. May God have mercy on us all. Thanks for responding. Please revert. Yeah, that says nothing about why people are.
Link number
upset
2,
about
it's a
the
Bungie
sword.
forum post all about movement changes, sword and relic skating.
I'm getting to it.
So they're saying, I feel like the changes to movement are totally uncalled for and unfair to speedrunners and even the more casual players in PvE. If sword and relic skating is a problem in PvP, why not just disable it for that game mode? Why do PvE players have to suffer? There are a lot of players who spend hours, on hours perfecting skill-based movements in this game, and you just cut their legs off. It's sad to see the changes are not a byproduct of the sword overhaul, but directly targeting the ability to skate. Who did skating really hurt? Why was it removed? It felt like it was part of Destiny and made the game what it was to me and many others. PvE content now feels like a chore and just plain unfun. I like to go fast, and Bungie is one of the only game devs actively going against speedrunners patch after patch. I still have my hopes for this change to get reverted, but there's no real reason for it to be here in the first place. So yeah, it's people doing speedruns, it's people who have honed movements with the swords, which is sort of what we saw when they announced the changes as a tease a while back.
So rehone your movements, dude. I mean,
I don't think it's as simple as that, Respawn.
No,
They're
it's
just
not.
talking they're just talking about the speed, right? From what I'm hearing, they're just talking about how they can progress faster using a sword because it gives them speed. Whereas I like the
the
sword
entire
now because
mechanic
it's
has changed.
viable. You know,
Right.
now you
Right,
have
this-
a
it's
cleave
more of a-
mechanic. Now you can just keep swinging a sword without having to pause after the third hit. These are good mechanics, and if you're upset because you can't move a little faster with your sword,
Well,
there are words I have for you, but I can't say because we need to keep this PC. Okay.
I mean, it just goes back to everything we said. You can't make everybody happy with every change, and two, you made the sword a more valuable weapon for attacking, but you've hacked it off the knees of people who are using it for speed runs, for movements, for things that they've honed in a different way to play the game. It's a huge game that has, the PVM guys we've had on the show have talked about. They play the game very differently. The speedrunners play this game very differently from a lot of us. And whereas the sword change is good for some folks, it's absolutely ruined the experience for others. Just like every change that Bungie puts into the game is going to do. So they can't keep everybody happy all the time. It's just not a thing
And
they'll
I
be
don't
able
want
to
them
do.
to keep everybody happy all the time. I want them to keep me happy most of the time.
No, you want them to keep you happy all the time.
Okay, that's a fair point. I was trying not to be too conceited, but thank you for taking that away from me. Moving on to feedback. All right. Trials matchmaking is going by. We'll give feedback that some players would like anyone who has already been flawless not to match against those who have not.
We've done that one.
We'll give feedback. Some players like slow changes. Did that? We may change. Believe the best for game.
They have given
They
feedback
have given
to the
feedback
team.
to the team that players would prefer the round in Trials to tie if both teams are dead at the end. Yeah, we that happened to us, didn't it? Yeah. And then
they did,
Destiny
yeah.
just picked one team. No. If everybody's dead, it's a tie. There's nobody alive to get the cup. Nobody can get the reward. Everybody's dead. Tie the round, go again.
Yeah, and some people are saying it goes to the team who killed the other team first, but other folks are going, no, it's not. It's not always that way. So
Right.
yeah, it's
Cosmo
random.
believes that the
It would be nice if it
determination
wasn't.
of who wins goes by the combat tick rate, and the kill feed is on the lower tick rate, but he would need to double check. A couple of reasons that's not great. Number one, server error, server lag, server latency, internet latency, whatever, right? Just because the kill feed said that this guy killed this guy first is not necessarily how it happened, right? Second of all, right, if both people die, going back to what I said earlier, nobody can get the reward, right? Everybody's dead. So don't just pick, oh, this dead body gets to have this trophy, ta-da, and just lay it on his corpse. It's not how it works. Everybody's dead. Redo the match, right? Also, what does he mean?
You're
What does he
all
mean?
pigeon food.
Cosmo believes. Doesn't he have a team that he can ask to find out how it works?
He's asked the team, and he believes that it's working as
Cosmo
intended.
believes. Anyway, legendary lost sectors were designed to be difficult as you power up. There has been... Wait, what? Legendary lost sectors were designed to be difficult as you power up.
Just keep reading. And it'll
There's
make
been
sense
a lot
as
of
you read
feedback
it
that
to
power doesn't matter
everyone.
without activities that require it. Thank you. Yes, I'm one of those guys. They should become easier to clear once you become more powerful. Again, agreed. We'll give feedback that having two servitors shield each other is unfun and frustrating. You think? There's a...
It's a feature.
There's a bug causing a fighting line's blast radius to be reduced. Fix is being worked on. That thing had crap blast radius to begin with.
There you go. They haven't informed the team.
See,
the fix
that
is being worked
that
on.
I can get behind. Fix is being worked on. This whole I'll let the team know, or we hear what you're saying crap. I don't care. Okay, fix it.
Move on.
Because
You
I'm
say
still
every
just
week. Just
aggravated.
move on. Just read the nice stuff.
If only you understood what a community manager's job was, maybe that would make things easier
No,
for
you
you.
can't
I'd
manage.
like to make him community manager for a week just to see what
Yes.
happens.
Oh, he wouldn't last an hour.
Bet.
You
Other
would not
people
last
might
an
not
hour.
last very long, but I'll be just fine.
No, you wouldn't last an hour.
I was a corporal of a bunch of other Marines. There is no
Yes.
That means
be
nothing.
in charge of.
But were
Okay.
there 10,000 Marines yelling at the internet?
Yes.
that all want you to do something?
Yes.
That all want you to do it now?
Yes.
And they're all screaming that you've ruined their game and doing it wrong?
Yes.
Well, then you'll be all fine.
See?
For an hour.
Called it. Where we at? Checked on Warden of Nothing
Check.
boss, and there's an issue with it not counting as a fallen boss kill. Thank you, Bungie. They are preparing a fix for an update coming this season. Again, thank you. That is relevant information. We'll let the team know that players would like to see Mythoclast, Necrochasm, or No Land Beyond in Destiny 2 in the future. That would be nice, but can we have new exotics instead of keep bringing back old ones? It's a different game, guys. DMG now has things he wants to say on Pinnacles/Pursuit weapons. We are aware. Oh my God, wife, those eggs smell so good. Gimme.
You've just eaten.
Actually,
You just had some mulch just about 20 minutes ago.
not-
I know
I
it took
haven't
you
finished
long
it.
to get to this.
30 minutes
I'm
into this.
still right here
section.
nom-nomming on it because I don't want to
Yeah.
nom-nom over the mic.
Well, you can't have eggs as well as whatever your nom.
It's just oatmeal.
read-
You can have eggs with oatmeal.
No.
We are aware that there's strong
Just
desire
read.
from players for pursuit of weapons to return for Vanguard. Listen, you gave me a section to read.
Oh, God.
Let me read the damn section. We're aware of the strong desire for players for pursuit weapons to return for Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit. Speaking with the team, there are candidates for future weapon allocation in future seasons. Note, can't make any promises yet. Thank you for nothing. It's a tricky balancing act as a pursuit weapon could come at a cost of general rewards allocated for alternative activities. Legendary weapons for Trials is an example. We'll be sure to let you know of our future plans when we have more information. There is a Reddit link. The comparison above isn't simply from a modeling perspective, but other resources and time. When looking at Trials weapons, you have to consider the time of bringing the models from D1 to D2, but also the process of setting up perks, creating new ones, testing them, hooking up reward sites, and testing those. Goodness. Didn't somebody say once upon a time that Destiny 2 is an amalgamation of Destiny 1's programming? So don't they already have the models? I don't know.
Parody,
There
don't
are
answer
more-
him. Don't answer him. Just let him carry on.
There are more than likely many other angles of development that I can't necessarily speak to, but making a collection of weapons and rewards for the return of an activity that is free to all players, aka Trials, was not prioritized over creating 3 quest-based weapons for those existing activities for this season. Reddit link. On roadmaps, we're trying to be careful with roadmaps, leaving players to discover more content on their own, and this is an expected side effect. Definitely seeing the feedback that the season started slow, but there's indeed more coming. The Moon Bunker kicks off next Tuesday, which will bring some different upgrades, another Seraph weapon, and more heroic lost sectors to the fold. While some of you may have already taken a peek, Trials has more weapons and armor that will come into play over the next few weekends. Grandmaster comes in mid-season with the Guardian Games and such as well. That is such a cool That's such a cool name. Guardian Games. I don't know what it is, but I want to do it. We hope that as more seasonal content comes, live play. I know we talked about it on the podcast already. I'm just being facetious. We hope that as more seasonal content comes live, players have some positive feedback. We're still in here every day, though, collecting your thoughts. Reddit link. It is recommended to report suspected cheaters both via report tab after suspecting the player and through Steam. The security team is always at work in the shadows. While you may not see the bans confirmed publicly, which we should, they are continuously removing bad actors from the Destiny 2 experience. Twitter link. As always, please report players on http://bungie.net, whether you suspect them of cheating in PvP or PvP activities. I don't know if I said PvP twice, but it says PvE or PvP. There you go.
Thank you. Jesus, why does it always take you longer to read your section than it does the whole of the TWAB?
It doesn't.
It does.
You're just being facetious because you don't like my voice, and I find that very
I
offensive.
love your voice. Your
No, you
voice
don't.
is amazing.
You're lying to me.
And speaking of amazing voices, Parody.
No.
Yes.
No.
I've put in a couple of discussion points this week that I thought would be. There's one that's really interesting. And it was only that I happened to kind of find it with watching Brave X Hero, who'd done the Trials videos with Ascendant Nomad. And Ascendant Nomad had put this video out at the beginning of the week regarding skill creep in Trials. And, I clicked on it and watched it. Really, really interesting video. And there has been a response from Bungie. I think DMG on Twitter has responded to Ascendant Nomad and said, thank you for your feedback. We are going to look into this, and it's very valuable kind of look at Trials and what's actually happening. But would one of you like to explain what his video is about?
I mean, it's about what we thought was going to happen. Because the Massive Breakdown podcast had a good discussion on this week of just the population numbers and Trials just cratering after the first week.
Yeah.
Especially with it being, a Shotgun Ape hard light map. And it's Widow's Court this week, so it's going to be all sniper rifles.
Yeah,
sniper rifles and scout rifles.
It wasn't just the player base going down. It's the player base going down because of highly skilled players farming tokens after just the first 3 matches to get the first reward. Right? They're not completing their card. They're not getting they're not getting a match made with their own skills, right? Because they're not completing their cards. So instead, they just keep farming the lower end of the spectrum and just cashing out and cashing out and cashing out. And that's not cool.
Yeah, it's something that I think, like you said, Parody, Massive Breakdown, Ascendant Nomad, have all kind of started picking up on the fact that this isn't Trials. This isn't the thing that makes Trials fun. Although, to counter that, I went in and had fun with OD and Wolf this week, and we just played and had fun doing what we wanted to do. We weren't necessarily doing what a lot of the top tier players were doing, but it was still fun for us. And like we did in the first week, that was just fun. So
fun is a strong word.
Yeah. I mean, it's something like going into Trials with 2 other people to hang out and just have a good time is just like I liken it to like going into Iron Banner and Destiny 1. We go in with a group of 6 from Frozen, and sometimes we win, sometimes we get the floor wiped with us, but it was fun just to go in and hang out and screw around. Like you're not going in saying I'm going flawless or stressing it. It's like you're going to fun and play competitively, but if you don't get the pinnacle reward, that's not really why you're there, because none of you really think it's going to happen. So,
but
I enjoyed our Trials run, and I enjoy stepping in depending on the map. Like I saw his Widow's Court this week. I was like, no, there's no way I'm going to Widow's Court and subjecting myself to snipers all week. I'm going to have flashbacks to D1.
I do like how they've tied.
Miss your shot, get your ammo back, and shoot again.
No, I don't quite have it. I'm like 26 kills away, and I just haven't taken the time to do it yet because this is Iron Banner week.
If you do it in Iron Banner, you get double the amount of kills, remember? Hot tip.
Yeah, I know, but it's given me a really bad selection of maps for sniping on. And as we all know, I'm a terrible sniper anyway.
But yeah.
I just finished my quest up last night for the bow, so I was working on those things first.
So I just wanted to get your guys' feedback on Ascendant Nomad's position and what do you agree the fact that this is the way that Trials is going to go?
100%
or
agree.
do you feel that us being as casual,
because I didn't even think
still
about
be going and playing?
That's what I was telling Parody. Is like, he's right. Yeah, when people realize that Trials is just token farming now, you don't have to complete the card to get the gear, then the high skilled players don't have a reason to go flawless, because it's just going to increase their matchmaking and make it tougher for them to get their tokens. So it's just going to be the lower levels are going to be the hardest ones, and if you get past the low levels, then it gets easy.
Well, I wouldn't say it gets easy.
Easier.
Because then you're then being matched with people who are on their 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th wins. Yeah. I mean, it's Trials is I'm glad at least they jumped on the artifact light early on, because that might at least stem the bleeding a little bit of the player base. But this is the problem with Trials is it's going to have that skill gap of you lose anybody who says, hey, let's just jump into it for the weekend and have a laugh and just see if we can get 3 wins out of it. If you're but even before the farming, even the first week is like it's a competitive hard game mode, and the player base is going to go to nothing. The streamers are going to be all that's left, and then they're going to complain that there's no one to play against, and they're sitting in, it'll be like higher level comp, where I've got to wait 10 minutes for this match. Well, yeah, because you've scared everybody else away.
Yeah,
This is a bet of your own making.
Doing. Yeah, exactly.
And it's interesting. I just pulled up Trials report just to see, and again, most used weapons on Widow's Court this week: Revoker, Hard Light, Beloved, Suros. Two basically Revoker and Hard Light are sitting about 2 million kills each. Beloved just under 1 million, and Suros about 500,000 kills. Yeah. And then Summoner, Mindbender's Ambition, Spare Rations, Astral Horizon, Thorn, and Not Forgotten are down there in the round out the top 10. But yeah, I mean it's a Revoker Hard Light meta right now, which fine. I mean, if that's what works, that's what works. I mean, and Widow's Court is a perfect one. I'm sort of surprised Hard Light is as good as it is, but at a medium range, and again with the no damage fall off, if you can get those shots, good for you. But yeah, that's not a map I want to set foot on.
Are you
Trials.
looking at PC, Xbox, or overall?
I'm looking at Trials report. So whatever they're reporting on, I don't know.
I think it's an overall.
Because if it's on PC, it's super stable on PC. So yeah, they could be landing those really long shots with the hard.
Yeah, well, easily. I mean, even I was nailing shots on just on the Xbox this morning at again not sniper ranges, but at what I thought would be a longer range than it would work, or just bouncing things into hallways and getting people that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but yeah, it's 683,695 matches that they've tracked. So, and 180,295 players, which again, I think is also then just the folks who have, registered the Trials report, the Trials report knows about. But still, I mean, it's at least a decent chunk of the community and what they're using, or at least the folks that care and know enough about it to know the site exists and to, look themselves up on it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I was thinking about this with the skill creep of basically, the casual players dropping off and then the medium players being the bottom of the pecking order, and then slowly over time, like you were saying, everybody, dissipating out of the playlist. And it's just the top tier players just doing account recoveries and trials carries for money, maybe not for money. It's
What do you mean account recovery? Explain that to me.
You give someone you say, here's my username and password to my account.
They play
it on your
But why is it called account recovery? That's what I'm not getting. Am I missing
because
something?
That's what it's called. Like on the Xbox, it'll say recover your account, and you put in your username and password or someone else's username and password, and it recovers the account to that console.
Oh, okay.
So that's what the mechanism is called.
And I was thinking about this whole thing of, I mean, they made it was perfect synergy, wasn't it, for last week and this week, that the first weapon that you could get from package 3 or 3 wins was the shotgun. And I'm presuming that from package 3 this week, it's going to be the sniper rifle. And they're perfect synergies for those maps. But for people to farm over and over again, I was thinking, how would you kind of combat that? That
you put the sniper as the last reward, not the first.
Which is, I think, what they did this week. I think that is your so for Widow's Court this week, your 3 win reward is the Tomorrow's Answer rocket launcher.
Okay.
Your 5 win reward is your arms, and then your 7 win flawless reward is your Eye of Soul sniper rifle. So at least they have tiered it where the thing everyone's going to want requires going flawless. Now, whether that was just,
well, no, it doesn't require flawless. It's 7 wins.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I mean, the 7 wins, and the flawless gives you a class item, which that seems like who cares? Like in the whole set. But yeah, but at least they put the higher tier reward up higher in the win count. Now, whether that was purposeful or just the Bungie algorithm being random, we'll see next week if they put, the desirable weapon back to 3 wins.
But the problem with that is that they will still get to 7 wins, get their reward,
right,
and then
just farm for tokens
down into in the lower tiers. And I was thinking, how would you kind of combat that? I really don't understand, because even if you kind of put it into a tier system of, right, you got that reward at say 3 wins, and then you couldn't get that reward until you've kind of gone like 5 wins or 7 wins again. But then that's not fair for the people that can only get to 3 wins each time. It's just
the way to fix it is going to make a lot of people angry. But look at how it used to be. You didn't get anything unless you made it to the tower or lighthouse, right? So,
But then adding the token system allows people, us guys that can just go in there and maybe get the 3 wins to get
they
that
could think-
first initial
there you
weapon.
go. The higher you are in your card, the more tokens you get after a win.
But you can do that with the cards that you can buy.
I don't know.
You know?
It's
First win, 1 token. Second win,
It's
1
definitely
token.
it's a hard problem because the end game of trying to have a community left to play this game type is going to involve just some tweaking and playing with it. Like I almost I know they brought elimination back, but who set foot into elimination to test it except for the folks who are really serious about it. I would almost like them to look at trials like they look at Iron Banner a little bit and say, all right, maybe not every weekend, but it runs this way for 3 or 4 weekends. Then we're going to make a tweak. Let's run it again for a couple weekends, then make a tweak. Running it for a couple weekends and sort of see what looks good. If nothing else, maybe your player base numbers are high that first week of the reset of how they're running trials, because at least it's different. At least it's a different system. Maybe people jump into it out of curiosity, if nothing else, and just sort of give it some life to it, as opposed to it being the same thing every single week and just rotating the map around. I don't know. I mean, again, I think we're all looking at this from the perspective of we're going to jump in and have a laugh and try to have fun with it, because we're none of us are doing trial carries. None of us are going to seriously spend all weekend every weekend doing it.
I do secret trials carries.
No, I mean, all of us are looking at it from the same perspective. Of, we're the core group of we might do it once or twice the entire time it's out and go, yeah, no, I'm skipping this. Or we're looking at the map going, what does court? No, thank you. I don't want to be sniped in the head 15,000 times.
But for us guys that can only get the 3 wins and just keep going in there and banging our head and just getting the odd couple of tokens from doing the bounties and maybe getting the odd win is good for us to then put back into Satan 14 and see if we can get a good roll of that weapon if we didn't get it initially. And that's a good thing. But then, like he was saying in the video, that it's not a good thing for those players that are just resetting their card after those 3 wins. Because even if they do get to the 7 wins and they're the capable players, they're still going to drop back down and just farm those tokens. They're not worried about going flawless again.
No.
And one thing I was going to kind of put out there is something I was talking with Detrick, and it must have been back in Destiny 1. And I remember Detrick posting on the Bungie forums about trials and how, as just a good player that just wants to play trials and have fun and maybe get to the lighthouse at some point, that there didn't seem to be any way that he could go to the lighthouse. And I think through discussion with him, this idea, I'm not sure whether I came up with it or he came up with it, but it's something I remembered, was that once you've got to the lighthouse for that week on that character, you are then put into a separate loot pool of players. Like somebody posted up there earlier on that you were reading out, Respawn, that you've done your flawless ticket, right? So you're now in a separate bracket for the weekend for that character. You can then go and do it on your other characters and then bring them up to that bracket, and then you are in maybe a smaller loot pool, but over time, over the weekend, over those 3 or 4 days, more and more people are getting into that higher bracket. Whereas that takes the skilled players or the higher skilled players, they go in first, then the next lot, and then the next lot. And then gradually, as you kind of get towards maybe Monday, Tuesday, the lesser skilled players are able to then still play and maybe get to their flawless and actually get to the lighthouse and actually enjoy playing the game against players that are more on their skill level. And the players that are highly skilled, they've already got their wins, and as they can only do it once every week on that character, but if they're doing trials carries, they are then again pitted up against the people that are in their kind of skill bracket. So initially the weekend would start off with players of all types like it is at the moment, and it just goes against the wins on your skill card. But then as the weekend progresses, that also accounts for people of lower skills being able to then maybe match similar skill levels and give everybody a chance to get in. And that would be the only thing that I could think of that would maybe help alleviate that situation of, if you've gone flawless, you are out of the loot pool or you're out of the player pool for that specific weekend on that character. and that gives more players a chance of still playing and still being able to
That
get
would never happen.
said
Because then after
rewards.
the first card, they
Whereas,
would just stop playing. If you don't have loot, then you have no incentive to keep playing.
but that's the same for now. Why did players go flawless and then come back into it? I'm not saying take anything away from them. I'm saying just put them in a separate player pool. And slowly over time,
I could have sworn I heard you say that they're not eligible for rewards after their first flawless card. Did you not say that?
No, but they're eligible for one flawless. Well, they're eligible for one lighthouse, powerful reward, aren't they? As I haven't been to the lighthouse this season, I don't know if you visit it multiple times in the same weekend on the same character. I don't know if you can just go to the lighthouse each time and get a reward out of the chest, and it just be a normal reward, not a pinnacle or powerful reward.
Oh,
I believe that's what they said. I have to go back and I haven't been there either, but I believe that's what they said is pinnacle drop once, you can then return and you will get, a different role, but it won't be a pinnacle level drop of that reward.
I'm not saying take any of that away from them. I'm just saying as they've gone the flawless, say that like you've got your M-Tashes, your cool guys, you've got those highly skilled players, they play on the Friday night as soon as it comes out, they're into the next loot pool. So if they're doing trials carries and they're doing whatever they want to do, messing about in trials and playing and just enjoying themselves, they can still get the same rewards. They can still play against the same players until the loot pool slowly filters in with more and more players slowly getting into that smaller pool and then making it bigger.
What's wrong with keeping the whole thing skill-based matchmaking the whole time?
Because
why does it have to be based on how many?
The problem is if we're saying it's harder because us three are at all different skill levels.
And it's connection based. It's not even skill based.
It would take, say, you as the higher skilled player and match you against the high skilled player on the opposite team. Now that may be 3 high skilled players on the opposite team, whereas you've got you and us two. If you see what I mean, and that doesn't balance out proportionally well. I mean, it's the same with the way they try and do it at the moment.
It's just you're playing roulette at that point, man.
Exactly, but that's the whole idea at the moment. Is you are playing roulette at the moment. That's why we managed to get to 4 wins sometimes. That first weekend because we were just playing roulette. We could play terrible players on game 3 and still win. Whereas we got our first game a couple of times, we hit those highly skilled players, and we got trounced and had to reset our card. So that's why I'm saying if those highly skilled players have already done their flawless run for that week and they're out of that player pool, it gives the next lot of players that are quite good a chance to go flawless, and then the next lot of players and the next lot of players. And I think that would be something that would keep the game alive and keep it fresh. The fact that other people, do have a chance of going to the lighthouse and seeing it and enjoying it, and that may not happen each weekend because you've got to count on the fact that Glad and Fallout and M-Tash have all done their runs to start off with and got into that higher pool. They may not have. It may just be, the odd fluke wins that have kind of got into that first pool. So it is still kind of that roulette game that you're playing, but you've got a little bit of a chance to kind of maybe get there. What do you think?
I mean, when it comes to something like this, I don't really have an opinion because no matter what you do, things are going to go right and things are going to go wrong. There's no way. I don't think there is a way to quote unquote fix it. If you're not a highly skilled player, don't play it. I know that sounds harsh. I know I am not, M-Tash level of skills, right? I play it because, I would like to be better, right? But it is incredibly frustrating. So I don't think there is a way to fix it. You just have to, get good scrub.
Well, you can't say there isn't a way to fix it. There must be a way of.
There might be. I can't think of it. I don't think
there's a way to to fix the mode because you're never going to fix it for everyone. I think just I would like to see them play around with it more. Even I was just thinking as you were talking, what if they did something like where if you're before your 3 wins and you come across a team that have at least 2 of those 3 people with a flawless already this week, maybe it forgives you that win, or it counts as like half a loss, or or it gives you, they still get the win, they still get to progress, but maybe
by
it doesn't
doing
hurt you
that,
quite
you're
as
taking away
much
the
because you're
pinnacle
already
aspect
fighting
of this
people who
pinnacle
are.
activity. You know,
What are you taking away? Who are you? What are you taking
the
away
whole
from at that
idea
point?
is you have to be
The
good
folk-
enough
the
to
fo-
get
the
7
folks.
wins, not be forgiven, not be
Well, well, no. I'm talking about like the lower level, like like before you're like to get your first 3 wins, to get some reward out of this mode, to get your first 3 wins, maybe it's a little more forgiving at that point. Yes, there's already the card to forgive your first loss.
exactly. Yeah, that's already a thing.
There's already that, but maybe or it gives you a little extra boost until that first 3. After that first 3, you're on your own. If you're getting to 5, you have to legitimately get good enough to get to 5. It would at least give people a reason to go in and play every week, to the point where they could get the 3 wins, at least get some loot out, at least farm a little bit, at least give you a reason to go in and play, even just for the materials.
All right, but
Because if there's no reason to go in and play,
wouldn't that just make that video that you and I watched even worse? Because if they just make the 3 wins easy, right? Wouldn't that just make the people that are token farming just even more prominent in the lower ranks?
I mean, if you're going to token farm, if you're good enough to be token farming, you're good enough to be token farming. That's such a small number of people and an outlier. I'm not terribly concerned about those folks. The ones who are token farming, no matter what you do, they're going to wipe the floor with you, because they're the guys who know all those things that Ascended Nomad mentioned in those videos. They're already doing all those things. There's no game mechanic you can put in, unless it's like you could free hit them with a shot and it freezes them for 30 seconds. You're not going to level that gap. Like that's not going to happen. But I'm saying things to make me as a casual Trials player want to actually step into the game mode and try it. Otherwise, you're going to see this continued bleeding of player base until, like you said, you've got the skill gap of just the try-hard streamers in there, and the folks that either don't know better or think, hey, let's try this out once. Yeah, they may try it once, but they're not coming back. And that's the whole problem. You can bring Trials back, but if you don't bring Trials back in a sustainable way, people are going to be screaming and crying about it in another week or two when there's no one to play and there's it's not fun. You're only seeing the streamers, blah blah blah, and I don't know if it's gotten better or worse with now PC being its own thing. A lot of folks, again, a lot of the higher level folks have moved to PC. So if you're on PC, just don't play Trials. I don't know why you would subject yourself to that. Not that the consoles are much better, but at least hopefully it's bled off a little bit of that top level community to another platform. But there's still a huge number of people playing overall, but it's going to become smaller and smaller, and it's just not healthy for the game mode, for PvP entirely, and for Trials to just see that skill gap creep towards the top. Like, yes, that's sort of the point of it, but it's also eventually that stops being fun for even the top
but
tier
that's
people.
just it. You just nailed it on the head. That's the point of it. It's for people to be good enough. And don't get me wrong, I understand you're playing devil's advocate. You want to look out for the little guy. This is not a little guy game mode. It just isn't. And I hate to say it, this is a game mode where you have to be good. And if you're not good enough to get the 357 flawless, then be better.
Right. I mean, I'm looking out for me, but I'm also looking out for the future of this game mode. They can bring it back, and if in a month no one's playing it because it sucks, then you haven't served it. Yeah, but then you haven't served anybody. Like, I want Destiny to have a healthy community and for PvP to be a part of it.
I mean, I'm okay.
I enjoy
with that
the
because
PvP,
when it gets boring for
I want those
the
who are playing
streamers and the
this for the
YouTubers, that
PvP.
means we can go in and get an easy flawless. There's no streamers or YouTubers
unless they change it to try to cater to those folks again. I mean, I still think I would like to see them just play a little bit more with the trials setup and just mess around with it. In addition to rotating the map, make some other changes every week, or not every week, but every periodically.
I mean, that's what I'm saying is that if the pools were different, if the pools were different, and the guys that always get their flawless straight away are in a different pool, it gives other people a chance to get there. And to counter your point, Respawn, it's not an e-sport. Destiny's not an e-sport, so it's not for the elite players to play. If they want to play elite games, they go and play Halo. They play Counter-Strike, whatever other games that they want to play that are esports. That, well, yeah, exactly. But you know what I mean. they go and play those highly. I'm not saying
I
Destiny
was gonna
isn't a
say,
highly
you
skilled
do
game,
remember
but
our
it's
Trials
not an
matches, right?
esports game. So why is it? It's yeah, I'm saying that it's not an esports game, which then in turn shouldn't just be
It's not
catering to the
catering
top
to
tier
top-tier
players.
That's
It
why you
should
have
cater to
other
everybody to get a
modes of
chance.
PvP for the other types
Well,
of players. I want.
Well, no, I
Well,
want
you know
I
what? I
want to
want to
play
be
trials,
on a
and I
flawless
want to
card every
go
week. It
in,
doesn't mean it's going to happen.
and I'm average Joe, and average Joe wants to play PvP, and he wants to play trials, and he wants to get the weapons, he wants to get the armor, and he wants to enjoy it. So if he's going in and all he's facing is the higher skill players, he's not going to want to keep playing it every week.
Play a
So
different game mode.
what would be the best thing to do is slowly but surely put those players in a different player pool so that he can then slowly, possibly, maybe match other players of the same level, or maybe just slightly above or slightly below, but actually give average Joe a chance to actually play the game and enjoy it. And that would then keep the game fresh each week, because those top tier players would still have a chance at playing average
That's not
Joe,
what the game mode's
maybe on a
about, though,
Friday,
man.
but then by the time they've got to
That's not the point of the
Tuesday,
game mode.
they could still be around. They may not have got their flawless,
Well,
but it
Joe
still gives
Schmo,
other
you know,
players
I'm
a
a
chance
huge
to
fan,
get in there
as
and
you
actually
guys
enjoy
know,
it.
Trial by Fire. Guess what? Joe's not good enough to get his card, his flawless. Guess what? Get good or don't get the flawless. The game shouldn't change for average Joe. Average Joe should change for the game. Like, do you see Doom players saying, "Oh
average-
my god, the game is too hard, change it"? No,
Average Joe,
they fight,
will.
they cry, they bleed, they scream, they yell, they break controllers, and then they keep going and they get better. Why? Because that's what games do.
No, they don't. That's the thing, though. No, they don't keep going. They stop.
Yeah, and that's what
we've
Nomad's video
already
was trying to
seen.
explain.
And that's what we've already seen 3 weeks in.
Because people have beat the game.
We're already
That's
seeing that
why.
huge drop
People
off. And
beat
yes, first week I think it's an
You know?
outlier.
Why would you go back and replay a game you've already beaten for the same storyline? You don't get loot in Doom. Once you beat the storyline, you see how the storyline goes.
Why are we why are we talking about Doom all of a sudden? Where did Doom come from?
He brought Doom up.
I was using Doom's reference because it's a difficult game to play for most people.
I'm not saying make the game easier for the players that are average Joe. I'm saying give them players of the same skill level that they could play by just moving some of the other players out of that bracket because they've already got their flawless for that week. I'm not saying that
Well, why don't
they
you
won't
just make
face...
a new game mode then called Trials for Babies? You know, Trials for Noobs, Trials for Dummies. You know, hey,
because
you have
Joe
this big
will
trial
get
symbol
better.
right here. That's for the people that actually want to get the flawless card, and this one over here that's in the shape of a pacifier. That's for you guys who just want to get, you know, a couple of tokens. Who's not eligible for a flawless card or a lighthouse? There you go.
No, because over time, if average Joe is playing trials every week,
Then
day in and
average
day
Joe
out, with the
will get
chance
better.
of possibly going to the exactly, he will get a chance of going to
You
the
don't get better by
lighthouse.
playing weaker people,
But-
dude. You get better by playing better people.
But
Yeah,
I'm not saying
but-
don't take those players out. I'm saying it'll
but
give
there's
you
a
an
point,
extra
though.
chance.
If game 1 is people like you, game 2 is people better than you, game 3 is people immensely better than you, that's a hell of a ramp up.
Yeah, but that's also a hell of a lot of
I-
programming. That's why I'm saying if you're gonna play trials, be good at it, man, or get better at it. And it sucks. Don't get me wrong. Hey, I know I'm gonna make people mad, and I get that. But that's the whole point of this game mode. It's not meant for everybody. And I get what you're saying, and I concede to your point. Yes, the game mode can suffer. People could stop playing that game mode. I completely agree. But if that's what happens to the game mode, that's what happens to the game mode. The game mode itself is not meant for, you know, Susie Q, you know, has an hour off of lunch. Let's go get a flawless card. No, that's not what it's meant for. And I didn't mean to say that Susie Q,
even just
you know, is a
playing the
woman that's
activity
not as
at
good
all,
as another
though.
guy or whatever, because I've seen Travel Danielle play, and, you know, I don't want to face her in a PvP match because but doesn't matter. Point is you know, that's not what the game mode is, right? You're not going in there as a casual. You're going in there as somebody that's good at PvP. And if you want to play that game mode to get that loot, then you're going to get better at PvP, or you're not going to get the loot as often as you normally would. And that's just how it is. I know it sucks, and I know people are mad, but that is Trials, man. That's not just Trials. That's any Pinnacle activity. That's Pinnacle Gambit. That's Pinnacle freaking
No Pinnacle Gambit at the moment because we haven't implemented Pinnacle
but no,
Gambit Prime.
that's
remember.
that's Pinnacle PvE activities like the raids. You have Pinnacle PvP activity. It's called Pinnacle for a reason. It's classified as Pinnacle, not called. It's classified as Pinnacle for a reason.
Listen, it's not an esport. I can be carried through a raid. I can even do a dungeon and get a Pinnacle reward, and that is easy.
You can be carried for the most part, yeah. Because mechanics,
yeah, exactly.
You have to be a part of the mechanics, man.
Go here, stand here, do this.
Same thing in Trials. Go here, stand here, shoot that guy without getting shot yourself. Boom, done. Move on.
But
go here, stand here, don't peek.
Yeah, don't peek. Let him come to you. I hope he doesn't have a shotgun. But yeah, no, you guys have valid points. I'm not saying your points are invalid by any means, right? I agree with what you're trying to say. All I'm saying is it's not what the game mode's meant to do. It's Pinnacle activity.
But if Trials had come back like this, with the fact that, like we have with the raids at the moment, that you get, if you've done to a certain point in the raid or you've done to a certain point in the dungeon, it gives you a save point that you can wipe out. Imagine if you couldn't wipe out that save point. So if you've done flawless, it won't put you back into that version of Trials. You have to go into the other version of Trials to continue playing. So no matter whether it's one person or all three players on that team,
that would just stop the players from getting the flawless card, though. Right? They would just reset their cards.
What if we took that idea of checkpoint into Trials, and once you hit the 3, 5, or 7 win tier, you could for that weekend have sort of that checkpoint of, hey, you've made it this far. If you come back in, you can start this checkpoint for your first flawless. Now, the first time you go flawless, you lose your checkpoints. There's no more checkpoints after you go flawless one time. But what if until your first flawless, you would have a checkpoint system? You still have to be good enough to get to 3, 5, 7, and maybe you get to 3 and you're stuck at 3 all weekend long because you can never get those 2 other wins. Because again, you're still at the point where you're playing people with 3 wins on their card. So you're not making it super easy, but you're also giving them a leg up to come back to a little bit.
Or check this out, right? Tell me if you agree. You have the card, right? Everybody in this particular instance was for the shotgun after the first 3 rounds, right? You can only be forgiven within the first 3 rounds if you lose. And you cannot reset your card after you win 3 rounds. Right. That'll stop all these guys from, well, I don't know. Somebody might find a way around it. But from what I'm thinking right now at this moment, that would stop these guys from resetting their card and playing against lower skilled people, right? You get forgiven the first 3 rounds, but after you get those first 3 rounds, you can't be forgiven anymore. And you can't reset your card.
So you're saying that the people that have already gone to 3
correct
couldn't then reset it and go back down to 0.
Lose 3 in a row.
They start at 3
in general.
But then they would have to then win another 7 games to get to the lighthouse.
So have those folks come in at a higher starting point. That's
of like skill, but not skill. But so they would say they couldn't reset their card, and say average Joe and his team have got to their 3 wins.
Now you no longer get forgiveness,
and they're going for their 4th.
Now it's play or die.
Yeah, so they're going for their 4th game. And they now match up against the higher skill guys.
But they've gotten the first 3. They've gotten their first 3 matches and their first piece of gear. There is their one piece of gear for the week, let's say.
Yes, but their cards already reset to the fact that they can't go and play the lower.
They can't reset their card if they get their butts kicked and they lose 3 rounds. Then the card is invalid at that point. You could say, or you can start them off at the 3 cards again. That part I haven't thought of because I just came up with this 30 seconds ago, right?
Well, that's why I didn't suggest it, because I thought it was a bad idea when I thought of something like that. Because then you couldn't stop people from farming even at that point, but you could negate the fact that the higher skill players are then restarting back at 1. But if you start them at game 4,
so don't start
like a resetted
3,
card.
Right? Check it out. So if you lose 3, your card starts over at 0 wins, not 3 wins. So if the higher skill players want to farm, right, that means they're gonna have to on purpose lose 3 rounds. right? So they can go back to farming the lower tier of coins or whatever. And that means that's 3 guaranteed wins to somebody that made past 3 wins, right? Not to the same team, but 3 teams out there would get a guaranteed win from these high skill players purposely losing so they can reset their card.
But I don't see how your way of it is any different to the way that I suggested it, where you're moving the skill players out of a smaller bracket to a bracket a little bit further away from the players that are coming in. You're doing the same suggestion, just it's slightly shifting it.
I mean, I think we were all sort of coming to the same conclusion of sort of once you've gone flawless and you've gotten that pinnacle reward, to do something to differentiate the player pools at least a little bit, or at least put your thumb on the scale and weight it one way or the other. However you accomplish that, I don't know, but at least give people. I mean, I think all our goals are the same: is give people a reason to continue playing the game mode. Trying to get better and trying to get that higher tier reward by not making it quite so punishing to step in, get just slaughtered 3 games in a row, and then that's it. However you accomplish that, I don't know, and obviously Bungie doesn't either. But it's it's something they're going to have to wrestle with as this. Now that they brought Trials back, it's a living, breathing thing. You need to care for it and water it and feed it, so it continues to be a thing that people do.
Yeah,
and I don't think it's going to be as simple as I'm going to shift like getting the shotgun from game 3 to game 7, because those people that get the shotgun at game 7 will then just reset their card and just come back in and farm the tokens.
Reprieve, though. They're not resetting as often. They are in a higher skill bracket, at least for more time. Does that make sense to you?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I think this horse.
I mean, it just frustrates. Putting that say the sniper at game 7 just opens up the loophole even more. So they've got to go through whatever they got at 3 wins, 5 wins to get to that 7th win in the loophole when they trade in the tokens. And that's just going to make those players even more frustrated when they turn in their tokens and they get the summoner from week 1 rather than the sniper from week 3. It's just they're going to get really frustrated that they can't just farm for those specific things, and then you're going to lose those players because they can't do whatever they want to do. So that's the other side of the coin, isn't it? Whereas with Nomad's videos, he was saying that people were stopping at 3 and just farming over and over again because they didn't want to open up their loophole. So now moving the sniper to game 7, they've opened up the loophole even further because you still get the rewards from week 1 and week 2 and week 3. So there's like 5 or 6 things in their loophole now. So if they don't get the sniper rolls and for the tokens they get that week, they're just going to get fed up with the game and just go, sod it, I'm not going to play this anymore. Whereas if they were in a different loophole and they could constantly get to game 7 every time with each character and have a chance of getting a drop for that weapon, that may be an incentive to keep players playing. Yes.
Yeah, no, like I said.
I mean, again, I think we're all coming to the same conclusion. Just how do we implement it, or not we? Of course, how does Bungie implement?
No, we're implementing it. So we've now fixed Gambit Prime and taken out the referee. We've now fixed Trials.
All right, so what's next? Vault space, double vault space for everybody. Moving on.
Vault space will
purchasable.
Yeah,
purchasable vault space.
Triple.
Come on.
I don't care what it is, as long as it's triple vault space, because I need all the armor for all the characters.
You're going to need to use your Gambit Pinnacle rewards and your Trials Flawless rewards to buy more vault space.
I will pay somebody to carry it all together to get vault space. Like Respawn said, I think we've discussed that point. We've got I think we've got some views across, and hopefully Bungie or somebody important has actually heard it and thought, actually, maybe that's a good idea, or what the hell are these guys on? Either way, we've got it out there.
I can tell you what I'm on, but that'd be divulging medical information, which I think is not a good thing.
You can divulge it. I'll just bleep it out. There'd be birdsong.
Birdsong.
So moving on to tips, tricks, guides, and builds this week. I did put a couple of videos for the guys to watch, but they haven't had a chance to watch them because they've been busy with real world stuff. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Real world stuff.
Because some of us work in a terrible industry right now as far as busyness.
Well, and me, I've been. They've pulled me in for loads of overtime. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been everything's on fire.
So Houndish, Error, and I Air Blue Eye Jugger, I Blue Air Eye Jugger.
Did you just have a stroke?
You say that every time. Every time I try and say this guy's name.
Because it sounds like you're having a stroke, man.
So
Yes.
these three guys have been slowly looking at the new mods for the season, the Warmine mods. And
maybe there's a pause that's like, roar. I don't know.
Roar.
Who cares?
Anyway, these guys have been looking at the Warmine cell mods that you can get from the EDZ and the Moon Bunkers at the moment, and pairing it with some of the artifacts you can get from last season, some of the artifacts you can get from your mod, from your artifact. And they've been looking at different builds and different ways of playing the game. Houndish has got kind of a lot of, you compare this one with this one and it will give you this. There's a couple of cool builds that he's actually looked at. Eror has got an infinite health build, and this isn't just for a Titan. It's for everyone. And again, he's pairing it with some of the mods that you can get from the Warmine cells for this season and some of the mods that you could got last season from the towers or the obelisks that we were farming. And if you get the right things and the right mods and the right setup, I think there was one with a storm cooler and literally throwing out, I think Houndish he threw out his arc melee and just had infinite arc melees going off all over the place for just forever. It was just kept chaining backwards and forwards, and he was doing this through doing the Warmind tower events. I think it was on the moon he was, and it was just fun to watch that some of these builds could kind of be taken into the Master Nightfalls that are coming up, because they are going to be really hard because I think you've got limited life or limited revives. I'm guessing it's going to be something stupid like 3 revives and that's it throughout the whole team, a bit like we had with some of the initial PvP games. So some of these are like you can, I think it's pick up a Warmind cell and get infinite health. So you'll get an overshield that the overshield will recharge even if you're taking damage. As long as you don't lose the overshield, it will recharge back up. So it's better than some of the other things. It's a bit like your health. It will just recharge back up and that'll last for 20 seconds. And using that with some of the mods that we got last season with being blessed with light and that, they seem to work really well and very synergistic.
Synergetically?
Yeah, synergetically. They synergize really well. Or they wombo combo very well.
There you go. That's when you use that. See, that is the correct form to use the wombo combo.
It's not.
Yes, it
and
is.
iBlue Air IGR has some tips and tricks with the Warmine cells. And like I said, Houndish kind of breaks the new mods down and looks at what could be coming from the IO bunker and the other bunker. I can't remember where it is.
Moon.
No, we've got the moon and Earth. IO, yeah, I said that. So
yeah, that's it.
I recommend watching these 3 videos because they've all got something unique that they kind of present you of different builds and different ways that you can use these mods. There's a couple of cool ones, like you can get the Warmine cell to drop and you can shoot it and it will send out like a blinding buff out in a specific radius. So they'll be weakened, they'll take like 20% damage, or you could do 20% more damage to them and they'll be blinded for a certain amount of time, and things like that work really well. So that's worth looking at, especially if you're kind of looking at maybe PvE stuff, but it's worth a watch. As we mentioned, Ascendant Nomad, because I kind of picked up on his channel through Brave X Hero, I will link Ascendant Nomad's YouTube page as well. But there was one that a video he posted about 10 months ago, which is perfect positioning in PvP. And it's it's perfect for trials and working together.
Say that 3 times fast. Perfect positioning in PvP.
Perfect positioning in PvP. Perfect positioning in PvP. Perfect positioning in PvP.
Good job. Now, why can't you talk like that all the time?
Yeah. So yeah, it's again working as teams and the positioning of where you need to be and making sure you're in cover, worth a watch. Astacross goes over the 3 buffs to the breakneck auto rifle, and because each archetype has been touched, he breaks it all down for what each stage of the rampage, or I can't remember what it's called.
Basically, the buffs all benefited it, and it's a really good weapon. However, if you already have a really good 600 rounds RPM rifle, you get that damage off the bat instead of having to ramp up to it. I've just watched the video for you. There you go.
Yes, but other people may be interested.
And I just told them what's in it. They were interested. Now they're informed.
Okay. Well, would you like to tell the people what is the best auto rifle in Destiny 2 according to Astacross?
It's the gnawing hunger, and he's wrong.
It's not the gnawing
Gnawing
hunger.
Hunger was on there, but no, it was the Arc one. I can't remember the name of it right now, though. The one with the oh no the one from the Forge.
Oh, hang
God,
on. It's not Arc. Come on.
No. It's a solar. You get it from the Forge, but it's not the Forge good auto rifle. It's the one that you get just by farming. I can't remember the damn name of it.
It's the Galliard 42 XN7568 auto rifle. You can get, as Respawn said, from doing forge farming, and it's basically just one of the rare bounties that you can pick up from her, isn't it? Or it comes as a drop. Is that right?
It comes.
Or is it just? It's just a random drop, isn't it? From just farming the forges. Ignore me on the bounties. But yeah, the Galliard, it's a solar auto rifle, 600 RPM. It's a fantastic weapon, and he puts a really good case across for why it's even better than the Hardlight.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Hardlight, that's the thing. I think we discussed this last week. The Hardlight is not the best weapon. It's 600 rounds. It's a phenomenal weapon, yeah. But what makes it really good and why people are sweating it is because it has no damage fall off and it's an energy weapon. That's what it's got going for it. It's by no means the best weapon. That's why Suros regime is arguably way better than the Hardlight. But the Hardlight just has no damage fall off and it's an energy auto rifle. That's it, man.
But
so people keep saying
as
it's better than the Hardlight. Well, there's a lot of stuff that's better than the Hardlight.
As Astacross he compares it to the Galliard. So with the Hardlight, it hasn't got the damage drop off, but what it has is that it can't engage people at the longer distances that maybe the Galliard can actually reach. So you might be able to hit them consistently on the head better than they can hit you with the Hardlight. Yes, they're going to get
with the roll that he's got.
Yeah. And I think the role that he's got is one that he's got dynamic sway and Zen moment or something.
Rangefinder.
Oh, rangefinder. That was
Zen moment and rangefinder. Yeah.
But you can get some really good rolls on it. My one has got ricochet round, it's got outlaw and rampage with a stability masterwork. And the range on it is 58, stability is 68. So that's not a good, that's not a bad roll.
It's not, but you really do want the rangefinder. The rangefinder in combination with the stability is what makes it really deadly. So Zen moment, or like you have the ricochet rounds, anything that'll increase that stability coupled with rangefinder is really good on that auto rifle.
I'm going to give it a whirl in Iron Banner in the next couple of days and see how it plays out. So yes, so if you are interested, go and watch his video and see if you can get one of these to drop. Fallout Plays has a solo Whisper of the Worm guide because the mission is still bugged. And if you haven't got this weapon, it's worth getting and you can solo it. So he has a guide for you to how to do that. And one that I was quite surprised at is Cool Guy. He did a Redrick's Broadsword or Redrick's Claymore, whichever version you've got, is excelling in 3v3 elimination. So specifically for trials, he used it last weekend on Anomaly. So it was the map for Hardlight, and he was, combating the Hardlighters. And because of the range that this thing can get to, he was able to get them better than they could get him. And he proves it in his gameplay. And don't sleep on that weapon. If you've got it, it's good to use. And I suspect on Widow's Court would be a very good one because of the ranges that you can get. If somebody's coming at you with a hard light and you've got a Redrix, you might win. So have a look at that. See if you've got a role that he kind of recommends. And Brave X Hero has another video for you for trials or tips in PvP of don't get tunnel vision. Basically breaking it down of what is tunnel vision and how you can kind of combat the way that you think and how you engage players and map awareness. I know it's stuff that everybody kind of goes over, but like I said, it's always good to watch and maybe pull a few tips from other people that you don't necessarily watch all the time.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe the way he says it'll give you that aha moment you've been struggling to find. No,
I'm still waiting for that from Respawn, but yeah.
It's also just a good reminder because I find myself slipping into the same, hard auto rifling a corner or just doing all the things that I know I shouldn't be doing, and just it's easy to fall back into those bad habits. So it's a good reminders.
Yeah. MTash has gone back to his Crucible school videos and he's put 6 tips to improve fast in Crucible. And as it says on the tin, that's what it does. So I think he's going to be bringing these out every couple of weeks and going over some more tips, especially like for trials players and guys that are kind of trying to build their team, or girls that are trying to build their teams to get out there and combat these higher skill players. He also has, like I think Respawn was telling us before the show, he has an Eye of Soul versus Revoker sniper video that's quite interesting. Doesn't he, Respawn?
well, I don't know. I haven't finished watching it yet.
Okay.
But yeah, he does have a video. I did start watching the video before the podcast about is the new Trials sniper better than Revoker?
Because they're both kinetic, aren't
know
they?
his reason. They
So
are.
they're fighting it out.
And they both look the same.
Mm-hmm.
They both have the Revoker skin, so of course it would be just as good. Because why not, right? It looks like the Revoker, therefore it's got to be better than the Revoker.
It doesn't work like that. But moving on, Cheese Forever has a cheese platter worth of videos for you to watch this week. He did have one on the Warlock helmet of doing the glitch that was able to proc it on any weapon. That has now been disabled by Bungie. So the Warlocks have lost their new helmet. The Hunters have lost their new chest piece. We're now waiting for the Titans to lose their new gauntlets, and
That's not going to happen.
that's Jin Rummy.
Bungie's Titan means.
So Cheese Forever has keeping Trials tokens past the weekly reset and Trials bounty token tips. If you want to go and watch those, that'll be helpful.
Well, I don't know about the bounty token tips, but I do know you keep your tokens by not turning in your bounties.
Look, Jesus, I've told you this before. Stop ruining the videos. Cheese goes through a lot of effort to make these videos, and so do some of these other people, and you ruin it by going blah, 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 blah. Don't tell people. You just tell people it's a good video. We've selected these videos for people that don't have the time to troll all these videos.
You
if
guys
this is something that you're interested in.
A lot of the people that listen to our show listen to it while driving to work or from work or whatever, or traveling. Maybe they don't have access to the videos because it would be dangerous.
But that's why I put all the links.
Just putting out little snippets in there isn't hurting everybody. I don't do it to every video, just every now and again.
Only a video that you probably watched. Otherwise, you don't know. That's why. It's
exactly.
Like, I play roulette with the fact that you, one, you may remember, and two, you've watched it.
That's not fair. Come on, man.
So, and that's why the links are in the show notes, so that when they get to where they're driving, they can click on the links in the show notes and go, I'll put that in my watch list later. Cheese Forever has an infinite Warmind cell glitch for the Titans. Have you watched that one? No, good.
I have not.
He also has a Citan's Rampart 10-second cooldown build. So this is the Titan gauntlets that put up the shield that you can shoot through. And he has a kind of build for you that you can get a 10-second cooldown on your shield, which is quite useful in PvP, especially in trials. He also has an easy overload round stun trick for anybody that's struggling to clear out their bunker daily with these overload champions or nightfalls. Destiny Fun Police. This was one that I found quite interesting because this is the archetype of auto rifle that I like, the 720s. He's gone back into his vault of toys and pulled out the Hollow Earth auto rifle from Dead Orbit. And he says it's amazing because of the perks that it's got on it. I think it's got dynamic sway and this is the one with Zen Moment, I think, on it as well, and a couple of other good barrel perks to either get range or stability. But it's the same kind of archetype as the Valkadin, the Misfit. So it's that fast-firing energy weapon, and it's, if you've got access to it, it's worth taking a look at it and having a look at his video, because I know he's a highly skilled player, but he just makes it look fun. And especially maybe if you've got an Action War rig, these things can get like 6 to 8 rounds with like backup mag in. I can't remember how many Hollow Earth starts with. It's probably around 55, 56 rounds. But you imagine putting the Actium War rig on your Titan and just going to town with that. That's good fun. And anybody that is struggling with XP, Jarv.
The sugar-free business. Sorry, I couldn't help it because I was expecting him to say something like the sweeter business, and I was like, not quite there. Maybe it's like the sugar-free business.
Anybody that's struggling with XP, Jarv has a fast, worthy XP farm guide for you to check out. So that's that. That's all them tips, tricks, guides, and builds.
That is that.
I've already said thank you to WolfCon93. So thank you again.
You did. Thank
Have
you
we had
again.
any clans submit any for recruitment this week? No.
Not that I'm
Why
aware
not?
of.
Why not?
Because everyone's clan is already full. They don't need new people. They have to. It's important to be socially distant.
Oh yeah, it's
People,
socially
so-
distance yourself from your clan. Yeah.
Keep your clan over there at arm's length. That's a good social distance away.
So if you do have a clan for us, why not submit it for us to talk about and big it up on the podcast?
Submitting.
Email is a good
No, you
socially
can't.
distant platform, so it's fine.
So we have had some feedback this week. We have, and I will get Parody to read it out for us,
Somebody
because he
else saying
said
I'm wrong?
nothing for the last 20 minutes.
He's not even here anymore.
He's playing Destiny.
No,
That's
he's
right.
not. He actually sits and listens to the show and doesn't play games during it.
Sir, do you see me playing a game right now?
I mean,
Do
not
you see me playing a game right now?
not this exact episode or moment, but I've got, I don't know, 40 other examples. All right. This is like, five stars are the best kind of review.
Yep.
Lift by, ah! That's a number of all uppercase A's, so I'm assuming his name is pronounced, ah! So he
Pretty sure
says,
his name is Racer890, but moving on.
oh, or it could be that. No, I like that his name is Ah instead.
No, I like that better.
Fine.
I like it better.
All right,
yeah.
I guess
His
7
name is
days
Ah.
ago by Racer890, who just says, ah! I can't tell you how much fun it is to play with these guys. Be on the cast, listen to their arguments. 1010 would listen again. Also, when is the album dropping, Respawn? Or do I need to do it for you?
I think Demon has that covered. You don't know this. I don't sing half the songs that's on the album, bro.
Oh,
that's
well,
Robot Respawn, man.
Maybe not
that's
half,
Demon's Child.
but at least, like, I'd say at least a good third are straight up Respawn originals, who he just starts singing after we've hit the record button, and Craig tells him that he's recording.
You can't prove that.
No, I can. Craig tells us when he records.
No, but you can't
Because,
prove
you know,
it's Respawn originals because with technology in this day and age, I can just say it wasn't me.
They're Respawn originals. So thank you, Racer890, or as I like you to go by, and now and in the future, because I feel like that should be a way better name.
It totally is.
Oh dear.
So
I want to know who's played with him. Who's played with him?
I
He says he's
have a
played with
sneaking
us.
suspicion that might have been the guy that did the raid with me and Fuzzco, because he said he was
okay.
going to do something like this. I can't be sure though.
well, thank you, lovely human being, whoever you may be.
Yeah.
See,
And send us more feedback and
this is what
good or
people,
bad.
people need to use the same names on everything in the world. You can't have a different name other places. You have to be the same name everywhere, so we know who
Well,
you are and who
sometimes
to
the name is
properly
taken,
thank or
man.
blame.
It confuses Respawn. How many times have we gone over? You can't now suddenly change your name because he doesn't remember who you are.
I really
know there's
don't.
No point.
No,
in
it's
this,
a serious
'cause he
problem.
you
man.
wouldn't have remembered. You wouldn't have remembered who they were anyway.
No.
Even if it was their name, that could actually be their name in your raid party, and you still don't know.
No, I don't. No, there was no Racer 890 in our raid party.
But you know of.
No, there wasn't because you even read the names earlier, and there was no Racer 890 in it.
Was there an
Booyah!
Was on the raid party?
He was not.
Just
That would've been
checking.
awesome.
So we do have a question from Cody again. He's got back in touch with
What
us.
up, Cody?
And he'd like to know What are y'all's favorite weapon type? And no bows respawn. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
What are
but-
y'all's favorite
y'all?
weapon
Yeah,
type?
it is y'all. But how can you
Y'all.
ask the favorite weapon type and then restrict the weapon type? That's not fair.
Well,
You
It's
know?
Cody's question.
Because
It's fair.
because
So
he
now
knows-
it's
he
now
knows
it's
your
the
fa-
secondary favorite weapon type, man. That's not cool.
Well, no, he knows the answer is bows for you, but so what's outside of bow? That's the obvious answer. What's the next answer?
All right, y'all go first. Now I gotta think.
Gotta dig deep on this one.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think he should have put no bows and no sweet business for you, parody.
No, the sweet business and I, that's not the favorite.
No, but auto rifles. Yeah.
Auto rifles are fun, but I've really been enjoying sidearms lately. Specifically the buzzard. I've been running.
Who are you, and what have you done to parody?
Because
He's been
I've been
replaced.
I've been running around. See, the gunsmith, he keeps telling me I need to use sidearms and fusion rifles to get kills. So I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I must clearly have one. I was like, the buzzard. That's the thing I grinded for, put in the vault, I forgot all about.
That's actually not a bad one.
I mean, that thing hits like a truck. And again, I'm super late to the party on this, so don't tell me that I'm late to the party. I
And
know
it's got a big and it's got a
Okay.
big
the party,
magazine.
the party
So,
happened months ago, but I've been really enjoying running with that and what is not the Wisdom Rebuke fusion rifle.
He's not asking weapons.
Yeah,
He's
that's
asking
on the-
weapon archetype.
Right. Well,
You're getting
yeah.
too deep into this.
well, I'm just saying that the sidearm I've really been enjoying, and then the fusion rifle is my close second right now because I've got a couple Wisdom Rebukes out of Iron Banner that I just melt people with, and it's just enjoyable.
My favorite weapon type is pulse rifle, and it's always been the pulse rifle. My Grasp of Malak from Destiny 1, my Surus PDX, my Hacksaw, whatever it was called, the blue and green version of the Surus PDX. That was, I love the Outbreak. There was I can't remember, there was one from the Raid, the Wrath of the Machine, which had its own unique feel to it, didn't it?
Yeah.
That
I know what you mean, but I can't think of what it's called either.
and Redrick's broadswords, when that came up to get, I knew I couldn't get it when it first came out as the Redrick's Claymore because I wasn't that good in comp. And when it came to the fact that you can get it in regular PvP, I was there like a shot. I did it in that first season, done, out of the way. And I love that. I love the gun, even though it hasn't kind of the meta shift hasn't actually got there yet. But I'm looking forward to trying it out in 3v3, like Cool Guy says. So yeah, there's loads of pulse. I mean, there's the Horror's Least as well. The energy type, that's a really good one. Claws of the Wolf, I liked farming for that in Iron Banner. So yeah, pulse rifles for me.
I've never gotten a Claw of the Wolf that I felt like has been competitive.
The
want to love
archetype
it.
itself is competitive. You just need a good roll on it. Like the
Yeah.
gun is good almost with any roll, but the
Right.
roll
Like I've been killed by it 1,000 times. I just never feel like I've gotten a roll that competes well.
I had one with full auto, but I can't remember my secondary clip. But that one was dirty because the full auto at the time before it got nerfed. Remember how it actually increased the rate of fire significantly? So that made it exclusively dirty. But as far as archetypes go, because that was his question, I would say outside of bows, probably the sword would be my second, if not a sniper. Even though I suck with snipers, that feel good feeling when you pop something from a mile away is always nice. But I think I'd have to go with swords as a definite secondary. Outside of
Swords are
bows,
fun.
of course.
I've really been enjoying the cleaving, especially walking into that bunker and clearing the first areas, being like, I have a sword, you have a face. Let's see if they match.
Oh, especially when you have to get like so many kills for like the bounties or whatever. I just go into the northern part of Mars in that lost sector and just cleave things because they run at you. They're like, "Here, please cut us in half." I'm like, "I will oblige you, good thrall. Thank you for your service or whatever, your suicide."
Like a line of thralls in Anna's neighborhood.
That's right. Anyway, yeah.
Right. I think we finally got to the end. Unless there's more secret things to go over.
No, I think we solved most of Destiny's problems.
Yeah, I mean,
that
we fixed
they're still
Trials, we
debating.
fixed Gambit. I mean, we fixed Vault Space. I think we've done good work here today.
No, we should be.
And we found the name of the show for this week.
Yeah, what?
We fixed everything.
We fixed everything. There you go.
Yeah, everything's
Nice.
fixed. So, I mean, now that we fixed it, I think the only thing left to do is fix this ending. And thank you for joining us. Your Titans are Parody and Night Demon. Your Hunter is no one respawned in real life. You can email the show and tell us all the great work we've done fixing things at 2titansandahunter@hotmail.com. You can find the show on Twitter at 2titans_hunter. You can find the show on Instagram and Facebook at 2titansandahunter. You can join the Frozen Clan at join.frozen party. That's Frozen with 0. You can find all your favorite Guardians on Xbox Live and Respawn on PC and PS4 by request. You can watch the show on YouTube, listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and everywhere fine podcasts come down from the cloud into your device, into your ears. And remember, everyone, please enter the tower with your helmet on and cease all multiplayer emotes until the virus has passed us by. And with that, say goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Panoramix 18's Vault Cleaning Services. Has your ghost got too much junk in its trunk? Does your alt hunter have 8 Titan helmets in her inventory? Did you donate more Fractaline than would be considered healthy by 9 out of 10 Cryptarchs? Then call Pan's Inventory Cleaning Service. For a nominal fee, he'll clean out that vault faster than a D1 beta veteran would a loot cave. And it really, really works.